Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
We be here. We out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you
Yeah.
how you how you do?
Do all right. We
That's
do.
that's good. That's good you're doing to do.
Yeah.
What did you do with your 2 weeks?
You already know.
I already know. I already know, but I want to
Been
be polite.
playing Diablo 4 like nonstop.
I can see that
How can you see it? How would you even know?
because I go on PlayStation and I'm like, "Oh, this motherfucker's playing Diablo 4 right now."
Uh man, I have a lot of thoughts on that motherfucking game, bro. There's so much that's going on.
Bad
Um
thoughts? Bad game?
Good game, lots of improvements that should be made.
Okay.
Um
So I haven't booted it up. The only context I have of Diablo 4 is obviously from the beta. So I haven't booted up
yeah.
my copy.
Um yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a few things like it's really nitpicky stuff, some of it too, because like the gems, um if you've played 1, 2, and 3, because I believe 3 had them without the expansion, um you could upgrade your gems to perfect gems, and might not be far enough, but I haven't seen anybody level 100 posting that they made perfect gems, so it looks like perfect gems is going to be DLC. And it's
Mm,
like annoying because something I've had in games prior should not be DLC because it's a bare minimum to that game now. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Um, with that said, it looks like there's no cow level. From what they said, uh, the one of the lead guys was like, "We didn't put it in, uh, because we want Diablo to be more of a mature game than a childish game," and
What you
that's
tr-
like
what you trying to say? Diablo 3 is childish?
that's what everyone was getting at when Diablo 3 was made. So
Wow. Wow.
I'm assuming that was kind of like, because like, so the dude that said that quote was currently the website worker for World of Warcraft, like lead guy. But I think like he was like running World of Warcraft at some point, or running some part of World of Warcraft. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
um, when they made Diablo 3, a ton of people backlashed that shit and said, Uh, it looks like you're trying to recreate World of Warcraft into Diablo, and it's like nobody wants that shit. So I'm assuming that he's just salty and was like, "Yeah, well, you don't have your cow level, piece of shit. Like now, what you gonna bitch about?" And it's like that's what I'm gonna bitch about. So be ready. Um, but I don't know. I just don't like that they took Diablo 3 in that direction because it really like halted the progress of Diablo itself for a while. Especially then because Immortal was next, which I
The
think
the
was a
best
terrible
mobile
idea.
the best mobile game? Uh
Man, we could talk. Like, what do you think the best mobile game would be? Actually,
like for reals?
yeah.
Um
I actually have one off the top of my head.
I can't think of one cuz I haven't really played any.
Jetpack Joyride,
Yeah, that was pretty good. Temple Run.
Temple Run.
Yeah, Temple Run.
Um, what was that other game? Oh, Fruit Ninja.
Oh, can you give me 1 second? I got to take a phone call. Anyways, uh-huh. So, best mobile game.
Oh yeah. Tetris would probably be the ultimate mobile game if I'm being real.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. Tetris has been alive for a good old while.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would count handheld games as mobile games. I don't really think so, but
I
uh,
mean, you are mobile.
right, right. No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
iffy on like how you would really want to like if you really wanted to get in semantics, but
Hmm.
like, um, I personally think Tetris, yeah, would be the perfect like because I played on my phone now, and I'm just like, it doesn't take a lot of thought. You can just fuck around on it. It's the same thing as like Pac-Man would be perfect, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I mean a lot of those like old handheld games are just all mobile games at this point.
Right, right.
So,
Um, I'm just saying, like things like Diablo. This is why I don't like Kingdom Hearts stuff like that. Like it's not meant to be on a fucking phone. It's not meant to like I don't know. It's meant for you to put some time into it, actually focus up and do what you're doing
Hmm.
versus like being on a commute. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can get it as if people want to have fun, they want to have fun, but I still think there's better things to be made.
I forget, you have a Switch, right? Or you don't have a Switch?
Yeah.
You have a Switch?
Yep.
So what do you think are the best things to play with something handheld most of the time? Is it usually like, I don't
So
know
the
what.
Switch is different. Um,
Hmm.
I would sit there and play Zelda on that. Like,
Hmm.
um, I don't bring it anywhere though. Like, I just played it in the house.
That's true. I rarely take out my Switch from my my dock, excuse me. Um, and usually if I have it to go, I'm usually in the house somewhere else, not in my room. So there's that. But there's like, for some reason I keep like making excuses in my head of like, oh, what should I get on my Switch? And usually it tends to go to RPGs because how long RPGs are. Um, that I just prefer to like keep playing it and be somewhere else in the house for the time being.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just me.
I mean, it is good to poop and play Zelda. To be fair,
Yeah, I mean that's the most optimal way.
if I could poop and play Diablo, I would.
I mean, you could get your copy of Diablo 2 on Switch.
My brother figured out how to get his Diablo 4 running on his
On his deck?
on his iPad through remote play,
Oh yeah.
and then he can use his controller somehow still. So he has like the setup where like it's an iPad holder for your bed where it hangs over your head, so but it won't fall. It's like almost like it's like suspended, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's a very casual gamer. So like he's not actually like doing anything hardcore. He's just like excited to like
But that seems
play
some
it before bed.
that seemed like some experienced gamer shit to be
So
honest.
he has it for watching. So this is we talked about it last time I saw him because I actually saw his setup, and he's like, "Yeah, I use this when I watch movies at night when I go to bed." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I looked at it and I was like, "One, that's really weird. Nobody has that." And then I was like, "Two, I need one," because I was talking to him about it, and I was like, "I've actually fallen asleep holding my phone in the air and dropped it on my face because I'm watching something."
I
And I
yeah.
was like, that's actually really smart, that thing, because, like, you know, when we were younger, we didn't have iPads and stuff. We were watching TV. We would, like, lean in our bed to watch it or sit up or whatever. So,
Mhm.
it's whatever. It's probably terrible for sleeping, but whatever, whatever, whatever.
Yeah, who needs that?
So, yeah, you know, Diablo's good. It's a good game. It has tons of flaws. It has tons of things that got right.
Okay,
Um,
so I think the biggest question is what are your current nitpicks about the full release now? Since you've played how many hours?
Uh, I can actually check. Give me a second.
Okay.
I do want to see now how many hours I played.
Oh
I want to
god.
say like 60 or something like that. Close.
I I I know the thing is that I'm gonna go like head first into playing this, and the thing is that I don't want to be too obsessed to the point where I don't play anything else, and that's the
I don't think you
problem.
will.
You don't think I will?
No, I think you're pretty good about like
I
what's
I
whatever the word is for like moving your time between things.
No, I'm terrible at that because
Really?
that's why there are moments where like I don't stream is because I'm like too focused on playing something else.
Give me 1 second. I gotta pull this cord out.
Yeah. That's why there was like a point of me not streaming because I was playing the fucking Mad Max game because I was like unlocking all the stuff in the open world. And it wasn't particularly like the best game, but it's just like because of it being so open and me trying to collect everything, it's like that's why I was going a little too hard on
The
that game.
maddest Max, yeah.
Yeah, I became mad when I saw Max.
Oh my god.
Is more than
Oh my
60.
god. It's 109 hours.
Yep, I knew it.
Bro.
You only had 2 weeks. Of course, you're gonna put fucking 109 hours into it.
How the fuck did I put 109? Is that like coming off of my beta stuff too, or is that just the game itself?
I think it might be the full release.
Damn, I'm about to fucking full release all over this game. Anyways,
Like you already did. 109
Yeah.
hours ago.
So I can tell you like some of the things because I didn't write it all down. I really need to write things down, man.
Mhm.
My biggest problems with it so far are, um, the items feel, uh, kind of like there's not a lot of them. Um, like the specific legendary ones, it kind of feels like there's just like, I don't know, maybe there's more and I just haven't noticed. I'm like level 74 right now.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm a bit away from 100. Um, so that means I'm not probably going to be getting the definite drops that I need yet. Um, but something they did, but they did this in 3, so it makes sense that it transferred over, is you can't trade legendary items. Um, and you also cannot trade whatever the other ones are called. Unique, I believe.
Mhm.
Um, Now, the reasoning behind this, which makes me less upset, is you can trade rare items, and the whole thing behind that in this is why you would want a rare item over a legendary,
Mhm.
because if it was a unique, you always want the unique regardless, because unique is very special and strictly like set in its ways. You can't change any properties. It's a static roll. So those are like, if it's the god roll, you want it. There's no other like ifs ands or buts. But if you're looking for a specific legendary, you can technically build it um through, you take a yellow, a rare, and it has whatever roll, right? You just keep rolling for it, keep trying to find the right one. Once you find the right one, you can take what's called an aspect, which is part of the legendary, and you can take it off the legendary and put it on the rare, and it'll now make it that legendary or a legendary, right?
Mhm.
Um, so uh, that's fine. Uh, I just like kind of miss the idea of like having a super special drop for my brother in Diablo 2 and then being like, "Oh man, I found that thing you need. Let me just give it to you so you don't have to worry about it," you know? And
Yeah.
like their whole thing is they just don't want people cheating because they're worried people would just figure out how to duplicate or, circumvent getting it normal way and sell it or cheat people out of things or something. And I understand that, but it's one of the things that is disappointing to me. Just feels not good. Um,
Because you can't
so
cheat.
no, I've never cheated in the game.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
No. Let me think. The other thing, and I've had this problem again since Diablo 3, uh, is you don't put your strength, intelligence, willpower, dexterity in yourself. Um, it's based off of like your items and stuff that really gives you that boost, and through your Paragon board. Uh, so I mean, I don't know. I don't really like that particularly, but it's also not terrible. This is what I'm saying though. Like the things that like I don't like, I can see the little bit that they're doing here. You know what I'm saying? And it
Mhm.
is like it's more so to make these uh I think these more casual players to be able to play the game easier so that they're not like, oh, now I got to look up a build, I got to put all this time into it. And I think
Yeah.
people feel like that a lot where they're like, oh, it's time consuming, and it's like it is, but that's kind of like what made people love the game,
Yeah.
was not
It's
that it was time consuming, but that it had these like specific things to do.
I think that was the thing about 3, coming back to 3, to be honest. Is that 3 felt very casual, but playing 4, playing that beta, it had the same feeling as 3, and that's where I still kind of liked 4, was that it felt casual. Um so I can understand those reasonings that you put down of like, you're a little sad by
Yeah.
it, but you can still get it because it is trying to appeal to a casual audience. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
you
even for myself, like I can look past certain things as long as the other things that I want is there. Which
yeah. Mhm.
there's some shit I can't say because I don't want to ruin things for you.
Okay.
Um
Fair enough.
so there's a couple things with through the storyline that we can talk about next time, or whenever you're ready to dive into that, we can dive into that.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to play. I'm gonna have to boot up Diablo now.
I do think you're going to enjoy it. I will say that.
Mm.
And
No, that was the thing. I really liked that beta. I really liked it. I went
yeah.
ham on that because I was
Did
just
you
like,
really?
yeah, dude.
I didn't know that.
No, I got to like level 10, but I only did it with Necromancer. But like, I went fucking crazy with that, and that's why like, there's also a part of me that doesn't want to boot the game up because I got to that. I got to the end of that first act, and I'm just like, oh man, like I don't know if I can redo all of that again.
Yeah.
But you know, I just gotta be mentally prepared to really put my time into it. But no, like with Necromancer, I went out, I did the fucking thing, I got to level 10, I did the whole thing with like getting the golem for the Necromancer, and like I did some of the dungeons and shit like that. And yeah, I put a good amount of time into that, but that's what I'm saying is that like I gotta redo all that again for this full release. And yeah, it's just something I gotta like muster up. Yeah, I didn't go as crazy as you did, where you played like almost every class.
Oh, in the beta?
Yeah, in the beta.
Did I?
Yeah, you were like,
I
I'm gonna check out the barbarian. I'm gonna check out the rouge.
I do have to say, playing the barbarian 3 times, I think, in the beta, twice. No, 3 times. Playing the barbarian 3 different times in the beta, getting him to level 20 almost 3 times, because I think the second time I didn't do it.
Was it
but
to
the first
level
one-
10 or level 20? I don't
It was
remember.
20.
It was 20. Okay, so yeah, I did get it to 20, not 10.
So getting my character 20 twice, and probably 15 one, and then playing him now in the full game is kind of fucking tiring, because I'm just like, oh man, I'm
Yeah,
still
because
just
I did this.
whirlwinding.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why I didn't participate in the server slam, because I was just like, I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would have killed it for me if I did the server slam and then got the full release, and I'm like, okay, I'm not playing this game for like a while. Yeah.
The horse is fine.
The horse is cool.
Yeah, I didn't know how I would feel about it because I didn't get to see it in the beta. Nobody got to, I don't think.
Yeah, because it cuts you off literally as you get to the ability to get to the horse.
Yeah, there is a glitch from horse in console versus horse in PC. Horse in PC, if you hover your mouse further away from the horse, it travels that distance fast. Now, if you're on horse in console, you have a button to click to make your horse go faster, and it only goes faster a little bit. So you can actually run faster on PC because of a bug.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, the game's made for PC.
That's true, yeah. Did you double dip?
No, I will though.
Okay.
I'm looking to get a new computer. So
okay.
Once that happens, I'll play this again. I for sure, by the way, would buy this game like 8 times. Even though like some things I don't like about it, just because I'd play it on everything.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds really condescending. So what are the other things? Something that I really was disappointed with is on console there's no mouse and keyboard option, which I knew going into it, like before it came out, when they announced it, there was a Q&A on it, and it said like consoles are not going to be able to play keyboard and mouse, which I hope they update, because it would be really useful. Because when I'm playing on console and I want to kill a monster, I'm clicking the monster, and I'm fighting the monster. But when an item drops and I want to pick it up and leave the monster because I don't want to fight that monster anymore, I just want the item that drops. I can't pick the item up because it doesn't give you an option to choose what you're picking. Which, like, if you're on controller, you would know, like, you understand like how that works. And then when you're on PC, you know it's got a mouse clicker. You know, it's got a pointer. So there's times where I'm playing with my brother and we're rushing through dungeons because that's what you're supposed to do at the end game of every single Diablo game, is rush what you're doing, kill the boss, grab the item, and leave. And I'm sitting there fighting a stack of minions because I can't leave yet because I still need to grab my items. And he's already in another dungeon, and I'm like, you know, it's fucking setting me back being able to do what I do, you know. So
Yeah.
that's actually one of my most fucking aggravating points of this game, is quite literally just a fucking mouse cursor not being able to use. Which again, they should just give me and everybody, right? They should give everybody fucking the opportunity to use keyboard and mouse on this fucking game on a console. I don't know why they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wait, you can get like a peripheral, I believe, that is kind of like a keyboard and mouse for PS5. There is like an accessory that you can. It's basically like a keyboard and mouse.
So the console version game itself doesn't have an option to switch to something like that.
Oh, okay.
So there's like, if you go into controller settings, it's just like, do you want to change your X button to square? That, you know.
Okay.
It's
a bad game.
Well, the thing I could do, my brother was asking, my other brother, the one that's less knows about games. He was like, well, isn't there something you could buy and that would like, he's like, I'm sure you could buy something and plug it in and it would work. And I'm like, it is, but it's like $200, the Xeno whatever, Xenos Maximus or something like that. And he was like, why so expensive? And I was like, because you're not going to go code that, that's why.
Why expensive?
Yeah, it's because you're not going to make it, which is true. Like, you know, that's the whole point of like that whole thing. I'm trying to think what else the fuck is like not great about this. Oh, the PvP area. It's not bad. So I've gotten my fucking ass handed to me so much. But I've also shit on a ton of people. So like, it doesn't feel bad in the sense of like, you can't win. You can totally win. You just have to like know what you're doing, like every other fucking PvP game.
Yeah.
But I am level 74. I was dying in a high level area. So I went to the really low level area where like people were like level 30. And I killed them. And then they got pissed off, and rightfully so. But I'm allowed to do it, so I did it. And an article just came out the other day where people, I guess, complained enough that somebody wanted to write an article, or that person writing the article was annoyed. And they said they don't know why Blizzard would allow
high level players into lower areas.
Right. So I don't know how they would fix that, other than like, if you're in a PvP area, you're now going to be loaded into, I don't know, a server, an area, an instance, whatever you call it, with only people your level.
I think so. This was part of our news, but like, do you think there should be an offline mode for this? No. And why is that?
So the reasoning for an online mode is to hold integrity, so that nobody's cheating and all that stuff. Offline mode allows for cheating.
But cheating for who?
It just allows you to change like your character, to add things in that aren't part of the online service. I don't know. It's how it was explained. I think with 3 when they did it. I don't know. But they had talked about it back in 2 too, I think. But 2 had an offline mode, so
They did.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, people can want it all they want, and it's probably not gonna. I mean, they're not gonna change it now for sure. But I don't see them like taking that criticism and making any different changes in 5. But with that said, I can be wrong.
Okay. Anything else? Any other complaints you have?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. The shop cosmetics are terrible. And they're overpriced for what they look like. It's like $20 for a full set.
Damn.
And they don't look good. There's very, 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 very few items that look good. Trying trying to think of anything else really quick. Good things they did is Paragon board. Do you remember how the Paragon looked in 3?
Roughly.
It was like a drop-down menu that, like, whenever you got a level, it'd be like, here's 4 options with like 4 things that, again, like a drop-down menu, and like you can pick one, and then it cycles again to another drop-down menu. You never actually have like a physical thing, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive that's how it works. I don't think they updated it.
Yeah, I think I remember it.
So, have you ever played? It's like a Diablo game that people play. Power of something, or I don't know. Anyways, this other game that's like Diablo, can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, had this huge skill board that you could like go through like hundreds of things. And
do you mean Path of Exile?
Thank you, Path of Exile. Do you remember? Or have you played that before?
No, but I was curious in it because the sequel got the sequel got announced like years ago, but like I saw the sequel, like some of the gameplay for it, and I'm like, oh, this looks pretty cool. And then I was like, oh yeah, the first game is out. And I'm like, wait, it's free? And then I'm remembering, I'm like, oh, that's why I didn't like look at it, because of the fucking like giant skill tree that it has. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Which is beautiful, by the way. Like, that is how a game should be made, in
just
my opinion.
Giant.
I want so much customization. That's what I want, man. I want to be able to fucking make my character the way I want to make him, man.
Well, I have no idea how that game is, to be honest. Path of Exile.
It's bad. So
yeah. Okay.
It's not bad. I just don't like the reason I love Diablo so much is its tone. And when I played Path of Exile, I remember being on a pirate beach and someone was like, "Arr!" And then I was like, I'm closing this game out.
I hate pirates.
So, oh man, I gotta actually say something about that in a minute. But
okay. No, because like I saw this, the sequel was shown a little bit, like some gameplay for it.
Yeah.
And like some of the monsters look fucking nuts. I was like, holy shit, that looks awesome.
Yeah. So the people that play that game love it. Mm-hmm. And I would say, like, if you want to take the time and try it out, for sure, like, put some time into it, check it out, see how you feel. But so the point I was making about the Paragon board from 3 to 4 is, in 4, this Paragon board looks almost, it's definitely not the same, but it looks like Path of Exile kind of, in a sense of like, it's huge. You could just keep going. Of course, until you hit, max level, and then you can't go any further, but it allows for a lot of customization and a lot of different builds. So,
okay.
I was really happy about that. And the thing I wanted to say about the pirate thing, which like sparks my memory, was again, I was talking to my brother who doesn't play video games very often, and my other brother was there with us, and the one that plays a lot was like, oh, I don't really like this enemy, I don't like this enemy, because there's a lot of human type of enemies in Diablo this time around. So he's like, I don't know why they did that. And I was like, it actually doesn't bother me too much. What actually bothers me is when video games cop out and put like dinosaurs in the game, because that fucking pisses me the fuck off. Like, if you've ever played World of Warcraft and they have like these like raptors, and I'm like, why? You couldn't like think up and put a spaghetti monster. I don't give a fuck. I just don't want dinosaurs in my fucking game. It's the same thing with pirates. I don't want pirates in my game because like it's such an easy cop out.
Dinosaurs are cool.
And they are. Dinosaurs are cool for like specific things though. Like if it's like dinosaurs are real, right?
I would hope so.
Right. So, well, it's a rhetorical question. I'm just asking to like bait into my fucking like, view here. So dinosaurs are real.
Uh-huh.
Right? Are ghouls? Are ghosts? No. That's why when you have like a fantasy game, I don't want dinosaurs. They're not fantasy, dude. Like,
what if it's like a different colored dinosaur?
That's still shit, bro.
with like
that's like
big feathers.
that's like if I'm eating regular pasta and you're like, "Whoa, don't you want colored pasta?" No, it tastes the same.
Okay. Okay. But dinosaurs are cool.
I'm shaking my fucking head. You fucking piece of shit.
You ever play Turok?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dinosaurs are cool.
I hated that game, but other people love that game.
What
bro.
about Dino Crisis?
I love watching Dino Dad play that game.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun game.
So yeah, I think there's a few things that they could improve on for sure. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Nothing really. I got annoyed that people were complaining about the servers being down day one. And then day 2 or 3, it was kind of still bad. But like people, you see this every time a game comes out that's online, and people were complaining that they couldn't get on, and that they spent $100 for the thing. And my mindset is always, if you think this is a problem and you don't want it to happen again, do not buy the fucking game ever again from this company until they change what you want them to change, because that's how you're going to change it, is not giving them your money. But you're a little bitch and you're going to keep fucking buying their game, so shut the fuck up. Like, I don't want you to keep talking about it. If you think it's such a problem, do something about it, you know?
That's why I feel like, just in the context of like boycotting a game, I feel like is like nearly impossible to do, because there's going to be people who are going to buy it regardless.
Right. Again, like, there could be enough of you for sure. But
yeah,
like,
but
you all just have to do it. There's too many people that are pussy and want to play it. So whatever.
The thing is that you can bitch about it as hard and as loud as you want to online, on social media, but it depends. It depends on the company, because there have been companies who've seen the online backlash and are like, okay, we're going to be changing the thing now. So
I don't think Blizzard's one of them.
That's also the thing. Blizzard is definitely not one of those companies that does that. Neither is Activision. So it's like, they're not going to do anything like that.
Oh, who I think my brother was like, these one, he said these bundles are pricey, like the cosmetics. And then 2, he bought them. And
Jesus.
and I was just like, yeah, I don't like, he doesn't know a lot about like Activision because he doesn't play their games and stuff, but I was like, you got to remember, the people that own Call of Duty now own Blizzard.
Yeah.
Or at least like whatever it is, partner with Blizzard. And I was like, so they have influence on like their prices. So the prices inside of Diablo for their cosmetics is the same exact price scheme inside of
Call of Duty.
Okay. It's like, if you look at it and then go into Call of Duty, it's almost 1 for 1 how much it costs.
Is Snoop Dogg in Diablo?
No, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. If that was in there, I'd buy that.
You'd be like, that's expensive. All right. I'd
be getting stabbed up by Diablo, and he'd be like, damn, that's a big, I gotta smoke a blunt. You know?
Yeah, Snoop Doggy Dog.
Did I sound like him? Did I sound like Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, you did. Good job.
Yeah. Cool, man. Thanks, guys.
So, okay. Yeah, I mean, it was to be expected with the microtransactions, you know. That's how it usually goes. But is it as egregious as Immortal from what you've seen?
No, it has no pay to win thing.
Okay.
Immortal.
Pay to Immortal? Pay to
who? I don't even want to talk about it. Never mind. Let's not.
All right, continuing on.
Hate it here.
Okay. Any other complaints?
Oh yeah, that's okay. So the other complaint is in dungeons, they're very linear. They actually don't really change. Whenever you go into one, it's pretty much the same dungeon over and over. It doesn't actually like mix up.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask. Yeah.
It's not a random. Jesus Christ! It's not randomly generated to map differently.
So, that's a thing in 4 in general, right? Like the world map does not.
Everything's static.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
I mean, that would have to make sense if it's online and like people are running around.
yeah,
It,
it makes me a little sad that that's how it is. Just because it feels. I think I'm gonna be tired of this once I get all my characters to 100.
mm-hmm.
Which is like fair, right? Because like that's 5 characters to 100,
Yeah.
and that's understandable. But um, I don't know, something I really need to like take some time and really think about it and come back and talk to you about it when I know like the real reason I prefer 1 and 2 over, and I think it has to do with that like randomization actually,
Mm-hmm.
because it makes it feel fresh every time I'm doing something where it's just random instead of a static thing. I do have to say though, with this map, like I do like it. I think that like it's nice. I think they could have maybe worked on it a little more. Maybe I don't know. I think like once you play it, we could maybe talk about it better, and like have like a full drawn like discussion about like what's good and bad about the map and the
Mm-hmm.
dungeons and stuff.
Okay.
The last thing I do want to say about the dungeons is when you go through one, this is how almost every dungeon is. There's a few that are different. Um, you go and do 2 tasks almost every time, and then you fight a boss. So, um, but the boss fight and almost every single dungeon is at the end. You go through a little tunnel, and then at the end of that tunnel is a circular area, a pit basically, where you fight the boss. So it almost feels like you're never in a different space fighting a boss. It just feels like you're always in a dark circle. And it feels really boring because it's all just the same. You never have like any like no place to really run. You're kind of just fighting this thing like in one section. Now when they have you in an open area to fight a boss, it feels way more like 1 and 2, where it had this like sense of freedom and danger at the same time. Where it's like, oh shit, like I needed this space because this fucking thing's huge, and it's like fucking me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. I think that's the last thing that's kind of bothersome.
That you hate about Diablo 4?
No, I still think this game is leagues above 3.
Okay.
I don't
So
know.
the good shit then.
I think Ono sucks.
Specifically calling him out. Not on
Yeah,
the podcast.
Ono's a piece of shit. I don't know what to tell you. He probably liked Diablo Immortal. Let's be real.
No, he would he would hate it because of the
Diablo Immortal?
microtransactions. Yeah, because of the microtransactions.
No, he's probably like, oh god, Diablo 4 needs more microtransactions, please.
You know, I'm gonna clip this and I'm gonna put it in the Discord.
I don't give a fuck. Ono's gonna send me a picture of my fucking like car, and he's gonna be like, "Have someone else start it for you next time."
Yeah, you gonna piss off the wrong person, bruh. But overall, having a good time.
Yeah, overall the game is fun.
Mm.
Like I said, I already put like 109 hours into it, so like
Yeah.
I have literally already bet my money. It has been worth it through that amount of time. Everything else that I'm complaining about is kind of like, you know, whatever. Like I already did it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Blizzard already has your money. Don't worry.
I mean, I still have. If I really want to like be that person and be like, "Oh, this game's bad," I can always just go and play remastered too. So whatever.
That's true. Two remastered. Well, 2 resurrected exists.
Oh yeah, because it's remade, right?
Yeah. Resurrection. All right. Well, yeah, I'll probably get into it, and since we're doing this podcast like bi-weekly, I won't obviously get into like 100 and something hours into it, but I'll try to. I'll try to get a little bit by.
If you need any help, by the way, let me know because I have the time and power to help you out.
Yeah, I bet you have the power. Fucking
Dude, man.
being level 70 something and picking on some 30 somethings.
I was doing some shit for Wesley, and what happened to him. He was like, "I can't kill this boss. Can you help me?" And I was like, "Yeah." I loaded in and I like swung around on him like 3 times, and then he died. I said, "All right, I gotta go." Just left him with his dead body.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, bye. Okay.
Shit.
All right. Besides Diablo, anything else you got?
Yes. So God, I'm so happy I'm playing this again, and I'm gonna complain about it. I started playing Rogue Company again today.
Rogue Company. Rogue Company.
It's a shooter by Hi-Rez.
Oh, is it that 3-player?
Four-player.
Rogue Company. Hold on, let me look this up. Ow, shit. Go ahead, continue.
So I started playing it again further back, but it was like on and off. And then today I played it, and I was like, wow, I actually like, for some reason I really actually want to get back into this, and I'm good at it. Like, I'm really fucking good at Rogue Company.
Mm-hmm.
So I loaded in, played 3 games this morning. I got 12 kills each time I played, which is high for. I mean, I guess you could get more, but it's pretty high for like what I did. A lot of times I was clutching the rounds for my team, but the reason I was gonna say or said that I'm gonna complain about it is, everyone on my team kept dying and we lost every time, because they're bad, and I had to pull my microphone down and just be like, "You guys fucking suck." I was just bitching so much about it, but regardless of that, I was having a lot of fun, and I was just like, "Man, I need to get back into this." So I'm pulling myself back into Rogue Company.
Is it 4 or is it 3? I thought it was a 3v3.
No, it's 4.
Oh, okay.
It might have been 3 in the beginning. I can't remember, but
Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing like some gameplay for it, and I was like, "Oh, that seems all right." No, the thing that like weirded me out was hearing Run the Jewels like music, but like the instrumentals, and I was like,
sorry, good.
no, and like it was playing in like I think in the loading screen. I was like, "Wait, what?" It's like, "Oh, okay." But
so when this game came into beta, which it was in beta for a really long time, and that's where I was playing it with a bunch of people, I heard that and I was like, "That's Run the Jewels," and nobody fucking said anything, and I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay, Run the Jewels is like a little obscure. Not a lot of people know Killer Mike. Like, it's whatever, right?" So,
let alone LP.
So we were playing this game for like a month, 2 months in the beta, and like 3 months in the beta goes by, and they finally get Run the Jewels to like do something with them, where like you actually hear the lyrics in the game, and the guys were like, "Oh, that's Run the Jewels," and I was like, "You motherfuckers!" Like, yes, it was, and I was just like so excited because like I really do like I have like all their CDs, I think. Dude, I love Run the Jewels so much, bro.
It was funny because I had that same experience too, where I was like watching somebody play it on Twitch, and I was like, "Oh, this is a Run the Jewels instrumental," and they're like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "Oh, they're a rap group," and they're like, "Oh, okay," and then it just never got brought up again.
Killer Mike, and what's the other guy's name? Do you know?
LP.
Oh, LP. Okay.
Yeah, LP. Yeah.
You ever heard the cat CD they made?
Yes, yes, I heard. Was it? Oh God, I think it's just called Meow the Jewels.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was for the second Run the Jewels album, and it's like Christmas themed. Some of them.
Oh, is it? I don't.
Yeah, yeah. But I think they've done like a couple of like singles of like just cat noises.
The CD with the cat one just has cat noises all through it. The instrumentals are turned into cats.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I remember I did hear that. The one that I was surprised that they did was like a Latin themed Run the Jewels 4.
Oh.
It's very interesting. It's actually pretty alright.
The album that actually called Meow the Jewels.
Yeah.
I thought they had something more clever.
No, I think it's just Meow the Jewels.
It's funny because You know how Run the Jewels, their album covers are always the gun and then the giving the jewels,
Yeah,
right?
the yeah.
The cover for the Meow the Jewels is literally cat hands doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good, dude.
Yeah. I recommend checking out that like Latin fusion mix that they did for Run the Jewels
I'll, I'll
4.
I'll check it out. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love their fucking shit, man. So good.
I think it's just called Run the Jewels Quattro.
Um,
So Rogue Company,
Rogue Company, I'm dropping Destiny for now.
good.
I played some Ratchet and Clank.
Which Rift
Rift
Apart?
Apart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging it. It's not my favorite. You already know Jack and Dexter beat my boys and Sly
Yeah.
Cooper.
I liked it. I really liked Rift Apart.
I jumped back into Orcs Must Die 3 again.
Oh
I beat
god.
2 levels and then couldn't beat the next one and got mad and shut it off. Which is like kind of like how I always play Orcs Must Die. I'll like be shit at one of them and then like come back to it again with fresh head and then I'll beat it really easily. I'm like, why was I even mad?
So stupid.
Yes. And then Rainbow Six Extraction I've gotten back into again.
Oh man, do I have news about Rainbow Six Extraction from the Ubisoft Forward?
Wait, really?
No.
Oh man! No, I was so yo, my hopes and dreams went up and down in fucking what a piece of shit.
Sorry. But yeah, there's
Holy
nothing.
shit.
Nothing.
Oh, I gotta fucking all right, we're good.
But yeah.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing. Like literally nothing. I think that game is just abandoned at this point.
I'm gonna play it.
I know you are.
That's it for games. Oh no, I played Kenna. Did I say that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Bridge of the Spirits.
Yeah, I haven't done really anything. I like loaded it and played like 10 minutes.
Oh okay.
So need to get back into that.
I think you talked about it last podcast, but yeah, I think I mentioned it's just like that game is just like a weird once you get to like a boss fight, it's just like it just becomes Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Oh,
I actually was talking to my brother again, the one that doesn't play video games very much, so he's like he had mentioned the Pinocchio game.
Uh-huh.
And sorry.
Yeah.
Cool, because he calls it a Pinocchio game, so he's like,
no, I mean that's what it is.
He's like, oh, I saw that there's a Pinocchio game coming out, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, it's gonna be really hard. Like, he should be careful trying to play it because he might get annoyed.
Yeah,
or like, don't spend money on it because you might not like it. You know.
I would say, does your brother know of the Dark Souls games?
He does now that I told him.
Okay. He does now. All right.
Like he was talking about Life of P, and I was like, I stopped him. I was like, hey, I just want you to know, like, I know you sound excited about it. I don't want you to like get your hopes up real quick because it's very, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, what do you mean? And I told him about Dark Souls and he didn't like Elden Ring. So I was like, I don't think you're gonna like this game. I was like, you should maybe look at it first before you play it. But I think what excited him the most was the idea that it's based around Pinocchio.
I was about to say you should check out the Writer's Den over on Twitch where he played that, and he would have been like, "Oh, the Writer's Den over on Twitch. I should probably check that out." Oh, he finished the whole demo. Yeah, that seems pretty cool. You know, just throwing it out there.
I haven't talked to him about it yet, but I am going to talk to him about like maybe just watching it instead of playing it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, man, like I've watched you play so many things that I don't want to play, but I've had so much fun watching it be done because like the story's good, you know?
Yeah, some of those have pretty good stories. I think so far, Lies of P. Well, that kind of goes into my week, but like just like a little bit on that is just like Lies of P has such an interesting world that I think I'm looking forward to it. And it's just the property, which was so bizarre when they announced it, but I was like, oh yeah, because Pinocchio is public domain, so like that makes sense.
I think you were the one that had come up and told me about like you were like, there's a Pinocchio game happening, and I was like,
What?
No, like that shit.
Yeah.
But like the art's good. I'm gonna be real about that. The
Your
art
main
looks really good.
your main character is just Timothy Chalamet.
Stop.
I'm not fucking
But yeah,
around. Look.
no.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true, it's true. Um,
Hmm.
other than that, games. That's it for games. I did start watching some stuff. I think I said last time I finished Ted Lasso, right?
Yeah.
Um, I rewatched it. Still fucking good. Everybody should watch that show.
Hmm.
Um, let me find this real quick.
You gotta write down this stuff, bruh.
Well, it's on here. I literally was just watching it. This TV show called The Curse of Oak Island. You ever heard of this?
No.
Okay. It's on the History Channel. So there's this island called Oak Island, and it is supposed to be where treasures housed or kept or whatever you want to call it. And like apparently the like myth is like, or maybe not myth because I think that they know like pirates had visited it or something. So they think pirates visited it, like the Crusaders or whatever
Mhm.
visited it. There's a bunch of different people from a bunch of different eras. They're like, see, these people visit it, and there's treasure everywhere. So I'm basically just watching the show that is about people trying to find treasure on the History Channel. Which, if you've ever watched anything on the History Channel, they never get to the end of anything.
Yeah.
It's like always just like a big tease forever. So I started watching it, and when I started watching, I checked how many seasons. There's like fucking 12, 13 seasons of this show, bro. And I was like, so they never find it. But
Yeah.
but I had fun like learning about like what the idea is behind it.
Hmm.
Like like fire treasure and stuff. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then if anything you take away from that show, like if you went to watch it, people might blow it off and be like, oh, like I said already, like, it's they never do anything in these shows. It's actually honestly the story's a lot more about like the history of the people that went in and tried to find this treasure. Because there's a guy living on the island right now, or maybe not now, he's probably dead. But there's a person living on the island or was living on the island that spent 60 fucking years of his life trying to find this treasure. And like that's more of what the story is. It's like the legacy of these people that like went in and tried. There's a father-son duo that died trying to find the treasure through what happened? There's this like sulfate gas, I believe it's called. And it pulls up in pockets of like the water, and when you like fucking hit that, it pops and then just like right into your fucking face. And what ended up happening is the father got knocked out, and what they said is if you breathe like one like of that, you die. So the dad was already dead. So the dad died, and is like in this like shaft or something or wherever. I can't remember where he died exactly, but he's dead. And then the son goes down to go get him, and the son's like getting ready to pass out. So there's another guy trying to get them out. Anyways, so the dad and the son die in this situation, and the guy's like just fucking stuck with that. And it's like, again, this is the History Channel, like fun treasure hunting story, and it like then you get that. And it's
You
like,
enjoyed Uncharted?
no, yeah, dude, I fuck, bro. Uncharted's so good. But yeah, I do like tend to love these like history things. It's the same thing with Atlantis, like that History Channel. Anytime something about Atlantis pops up, I'm like, I already know it's fake, but I gotta watch it, man, because it's fucking Atlantis, dude. Because it's like one of those things. Like, I don't know if you have any of that, but like it's like I want it to be real so bad, so that so you can be like, oh, there was like this like lost civilization,
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say there was something of that or like a lost civilization, but there was a thing that I got somewhat interested in, and it was I think it was the thing about Hitler that like the theory was that Hitler was still alive, or at the time he was.
Thing?
Yes, that I got really interested in because I was like, oh fuck, and then they started doing the research, and then like, they started asking people around, like these people from Argentina who have like German heritage and like asking, what did your family member do, or like this and that. Like there was like really interesting stuff that they were doing with it. I don't know if it led to anywhere, because I think at this point Hitler was already dead. But it's
There's
just
a lot of real possibilities actually that he did flee and was
yeah.
able to make it out.
Yeah, and like Argentina is like one of the biggest countries that backed the Nazis. So not in the sense of like financially, but like once the war was like getting to a close, like they were harboring a lot of German people.
Yeah,
So,
I mean they probably money's always king. So
yeah.
if they had a ability to pay them in some way, I'm sure anybody would have been like, all right,
Yeah.
man, you got money, fuck it. Like,
I think that's how I found out about like a part of Chile that like I believe it's Chile that has just a community of German people.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, I think that it was from that, I believe. But like, yeah, it's essentially just like German people were like going around Central and South America.
It's bonkers that you could go to like South America and hear like Guten Schnack.
Yeah, no, I think that was the thing. Like somebody went there and was like, it was such a huge cultural shock when like you're in a country where most of the native people speak Spanish, and then you just get to like one central place and it's all just German, and they're wearing lederhosen, they're going about their little like town walks, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, that's some wild shit. But yeah, I don't think I really had anything like that. I was just like, oh, possible civilizations that existed or lost cities and stuff like that. Yeah, I did get into that moonshining thing for a little bit, but
that's so much fun.
It was a really fun show.
It's honestly like that stuff is just like goofy fun, man.
Yeah, it's like it's obvious like reality TV shit, but like it's still pretty fun because like
I love sorry, go ahead.
I know, because like the goofiest thing was just like, this is supposed to be hush hush, police can't find out about our rig and shit, and then like and it's like fucking, you got camera crews like going around like taking fucking shots of like the building that they're in. And it's just like, this is so stupid. But yeah, it's the dumbest. But no, it's like there've been like a couple episodes where it's like dudes got actually hurt because I think like their rig exploded in their face or something. And it's like, oh, that's fucked. Anyways, I hope the booze tastes all right.
Couple meth addicts trying to cook in their fucking basement.
Yeah, or that shit. They have to deal with some fucking wild other fucking cooks. Yeah, it's just a goofy show. That I remember.
I had my friend's dad told me one time of the house that he lived in. His dad ended up cooking meth in it one time and blew up the fucking kitchen. And he was like, I looked at my friend and I was like, your dad didn't do. He's like, Dad, and his dad goes, yeah. And he goes, tell him about the fucking meth explosion. And his dad fucking tells me, and I was like,
oh,
dude, what the fuck? Like, his dad seems so straight edge and shit. He's just like, his friend was just like, yeah, my dad was weird when he was younger. Like, he just wanted to try
it. He was curious.
I'm assuming after that he was like, oh, it's a bad idea.
Funny you mentioned that. I think I've mentioned this channel's name, but like this YouTube channel by the name of Mandalore Gaming.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I really like watching his videos and stuff like that. So apparently he was like on a podcast. I think the podcast is called Please Stop Talking. Where Mandalore's fucking life is so interesting because of just the people that he meets, like just in his real life or what he does. But there was like one thing with they were talking about where they mentioned like a rapper that he did editing for like a music video. And this rapper is like one of those like I want to say even niche. It's just one of those dudes that is trying to be a rapper. But he was paying Mandalore like a good amount of money to edit his videos. So one of the music videos was a song about cooking crack, and he sends him the video, And he's like, all right, can you just edit that? And he's like, all right. So he's editing it, and he realizes that the dude is legitimately just cooking crack. Like, and in the song, he's like giving specific details on how to cook crack, and it's like it's one of the funniest fucking things I've seen. It's just so wild, like him going to like a step by step, like just instructional video like how to cook crack. So he had to edit it in a way of like not showing on how it's done, but you can like visibly see it at times where
You
like
know the rapper?
oh god, I'm trying to remember the name. I'm trying to
'Cause I
remember.
actually think I might know the song.
Fuck, what is his name? Something Viper or some shit like that. I think what his name
Not
is.
Vince Staples, is it?
No, it's not Vince Staples. It's not a well-known rapper. It's just some dude online.
If you find it, just hit me a link.
Yeah, but but that story is hilarious. Of like Mandalore. I would try to find that like clip that I found that I heard,
That's
but
funny,
it
dude.
is the funniest shit in the world because of like him trying to explain it and like him like having some like editing panache to it because he was a big fan of like this like online game of like star battleships where he just like hinted that like, oh yeah, in the video you can see me put like I put like some PNGs of those battleships around like the video. It's like the stupidest shit in the world. Yeah, I gotta find that, but yeah, just hearing about cooking meth and like it reminded me of that of like that guy doing a step-by-step video of like how to cook crack.
And you whip in the glass. Burr, 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 burr.
Yeah. Anything else you got?
Uh, yeah, I started watching the next season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's still going.
Yeah, very good. This season is super good already.
Okay. Okay. That's good. I still have not dove into It's Always Sunny.
Always recommend.
I just keep seeing those podcast clips with the Always Sunny podcast
Podcast.
podcast. Yeah, and they just talk about like, you know, certain episodes and shit like that. You know what, speaking of It's Always Sunny, Glenn Howerton, I think that's his name. The guy who plays
Dennis.
Dennis? Is it Dennis?
Mhm.
Yes, Dennis. He's in that movie about not Bluetooth, fucking BlackBerry.
Yeah. He's
I
the Blackberry guy, I think.
yeah, I want to check it out because I've seen trailers for it and I'm like it seems pretty good. I think just because of Glenn Howerton.
Yeah, he actually talked on a podcast about it, and he was like,
Yeah, he was bald.
he was saying like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know, like if I was gonna do good enough for this, because like I'm so used to like, he's so used
TV.
to being angry in a different way on the Always Sunny, Jesus Christ, Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
But in the Blackberry movie, the clips that they showed, he sounds like he does great.
Yeah.
And then like his friends, even like Charlie and
Yeah, they even acknowledge it. And the
David.
funny I think Charlie Day put it down. He's like, you know how to play manic like really well.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah, and it's so true though too. Like he looks like he's so fucking good at it.
yeah,
And what it is he's just good at being a serious actor.
yeah. I think he went to acting
Yep.
school, right? Yeah.
He said he wanted to be a serious actor, and then he kind of just got mixed up in what he's in. He was like, I'm really happy with what I've done though. Like I'm happy I did this instead of everything else.
Yeah, I mean,
But he,
it's always Sunny has given him more opportunities, to be honest.
right. And they all said it. They all said like they're happy about and Sunny in Philadelphia because they're allowed to do what they want with it. It's their thing. They can control it.
Mhm.
And they said they don't mind going off and doing other projects, but they always find themselves wanting to come back to Sunny because it's like their little baby, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. How many seasons is it? I think I saw it's like
16?
yeah, I think it was like 16 or 15.
I think it's 15 actually.
Okay.
So, they got renewed, I think, for 16 or 17.
Jesus. It's gonna go for a while. Well, I would
Yeah,
assume that each season's not that long, right? In
2
episodes.
years ago they got renewed for 4. They gave him 4 more seasons.
Yeah, that's right. Because
Yeah.
the show is going so well. Yeah, yeah.
Um, their earlier seasons had more episodes. Their current seasons are kind of getting lower, I think.
Mm.
The COVID season was very short. Maybe 8 episodes. Usually it's like 10 or 13, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. All right. I have to probably give it a shot.
yeah,
Do you think
I
it's a
think you would like it.
yeah? Do you think it's a show that's like good binging, or is it a show that's like watch a couple episodes and then wait a little bit?
I would recommend not starting on season 1.
Now you see, I want to see how it begins.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think season 1's still good. I personally like all of it. Um, I don't know. It might be hit or miss for you though, depending on like how you take the first couple episodes.
Mhm.
There's a good amount of racism that they do, but it's not like meant to be harmful.
Is it like the first episode title called "The Gang Gets Racist" or some shit like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Some shit like that.
It's the whole first episode something about them like having a black friend.
Yeah, I can deal with like awkward humor. I can deal with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just know that sometimes people can't handle stuff like that, and I'm like, I mean, it's not for you then, you know?
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, cause like I'm trying to think. I've only seen like a couple clips of the show, but like not really anything too crazy. So I don't really know the lore of It's Always Sunny. Is there lore?
Technically.
Okay.
For sure, like, oh yeah, this lore. You get deeper and deeper into it, and like you learn about the characters. Yes.
Okay. Good to know. Anything else you watched?
No, that's it.
Wow. Anything else or just that's it? That's it?
That's it.
That's it? Wow. Just Diablo for 109 hours.
Bro. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I guess for me, yeah. I didn't do anything crazy. I've been like, I realize I'm getting really bad with time management when it comes to games because I've just been like on and off with a lot of things. But I think before I get into games, I just want to talk about some shit that I've seen. So I watched Evil Dead Rise, the new Evil Dead movie.
Okay.
I liked it. I think it's pretty enjoyable. The only thing that was a little like jarring was that a lot of the actors in that movie have New Zealand accents. So like there's a little girl who has like a New Zealand accent, but the movie's supposed to take place in like Los Angeles. Very weird. But if you like the Evil Dead movie, what happened?
That's weird as fuck, actually.
It's a little jarring at times where you're just hearing "oh yeah, and it's like, all right. But I think overall as like a horror movie, it does have fun with itself. There's a lot of like really interesting shots that it does, like cinematography wise. But yeah, as an Evil Dead movie, I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I'm trying to think anything else. No, yeah, that was a good movie that I watched. Oh god, yeah, I watched like The Biggest Thing, but I'll leave it towards the end. Okay, so yeah, I watched The Raid 2. I rewatched it. That's also a very The Raid, it's on Netflix. It's called The Raid Redemption. That's the first movie, and then the sequel is called The Raid 2. I just rewatched it because I was like, I really like these movies, and I forget how long that second movie is, but they really go into it because I completely forgot that like when they really wanted to make the story of the second movie the first, but they didn't have the budget for it. So that's why the first movie is completely different. In a sense, in a weird sense, where they were like, okay, this is the stuff that we can do, and let's show this off. And that first movie was such a big success that it gave them the money to do the second movie, and that was like basically the dream that they wanted to do. There was also another thing where like I was seeing that the Raid 3 was kind of planned, but at the same time not really, because the director and the writer was like, yeah, the Raid 2 kind of ends in like a really good note, and on top of that, we're planning on making a third movie that wasn't focused on the main character from the first two movies. It was gonna be a completely different character, but they thought, you know what, let's not do it. So I was like, okay, that's all right. And I rewatched Dread.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good movie.
I've actually never seen that.
It's pretty good. I know nothing of like Judge Dredd. I remember I watched this movie I think when it came out, but I really liked it, and even to this day, like it's pretty good. 2012 I think it came out, which is wild.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, which is wild. And then I finished Barry season 3, and I'm on the final season currently, but I haven't finished it through because season 4 like literally towards the midway does a time skip, which I was not expecting. But Barry has been pretty good. Season 3 was really good too, because season 3 was just like, yeah, your main character, Bill Hader, is just like manic.
Dude, he's literally one of the best actors. I love him.
He's really good in Barry, because it's obviously it's his show, and like that show is just like really funny and like really well written. And like it's so cartoony at times, but it's like believably cartoony. But I really enjoy it. I really recommend Barry. But yeah, season 4 I'm going through. I didn't get too far into it. Yeah, I'm still watching Vinland Saga season 2. It's the last episode is gonna be next week, so I'm interested to see what happens, and probably gonna read the manga to see how far it goes, because it's still going, the manga. But yeah, Vinland Saga season 2 is still pretty good. And I watched Honey Boy.
Yes.
And now I'm a little sympathetic to Shia LaBeouf.
Mhm.
Oh man, I kind of feel bad for Shia LaBeouf.
Dude, I can't remember if I cried or not in that, but I for sure was just like, man.
There were a lot of moments that hit home with me while watching that movie, where I was like, fuck. It's one of those things that like I was like, I felt that feeling, and I've been on the other end of like certain situations like that, where it's just like, it fucking sucks. It sucks. But and as a movie on its own, it really tugs at like, humans are complicated. It's really, really complicated, especially being a child and especially being that age. And I understand it from that standpoint of like, some people can view it and be like, oh, why didn't he just go live with his mom? And it's like, no, you kind of have to understand it of like, he really cares for his dad. Even though his dad does really shitty things, he still loves him no matter what. And it's like, it's more complicated than that. But it's
also like people don't understand, like when you're a kid, like you don't know you have these options too.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's like on top of that, it's like, you have that moment in the movie where he's like, if I don't, where he's arguing with his dad, and he's like, if I don't pay you, you won't stay around.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, like that sucks even more, where it's like the only reason, like, and you sense it too, where it's like, if he wasn't such a big star, or like if he wasn't making that money, he's had that thought in his head for a while, where it's like, my dad would not stick around if I didn't make money. Yeah. And you also feel sympathetic for his dad as well, because he's just somebody that made really shitty decisions and just really fucking up his son. And that was the other thing, was that like, he was a victim of his upbringing, and like it didn't affect him until later in life, and it's just, yeah, like fuck, dude, like it. Like I said, I feel a little sympathetic to Shia LaBeouf, even though like he still has some shit going on, which kind of is like, damn, dude, you really need to have. I hope he's in therapy, but like, fuck, man, yeah, that movie. I feel like that movie was cathartic for him because he
Yeah.
was able to share his experience, and then even then, there's like more shit that the movie does not go into, about his personal life, and like I was reading up some like stuff on him on like Wikipedia, and it's just like, oh, there was a lot more darker shit that he experienced. But yeah, good movie. It's a very good movie, and like really it really shows that human emotions and like being a person is incredibly complex, and like there are moments in life where, you know, there are people out there like that. And even with giant celebrities like Shia LaBeouf, it's like, no, he had a childhood that really, really affected him. And you can kind of understand, like, during that era of him being pretty big, he was just essentially on like a downward spiral. And it's like, oh, this is basically the reason why. Yeah. I would recommend Honey Boy to other people. Even that ending was just like, that ending almost made me tear up, because it's just like, yeah, like I said, it's like very cathartic of just like coming to terms with it, essentially.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, the final thing that is the biggest thing that I watched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse,
Oh, nice.
or Spider-Man 2, Too Many Spider-Men again. I don't want to spoil anything, you know, but it's really good. Uh Animation's really good, the story is really good. And how that movie ends, it ends in a cliffhanger, so it's like, I want more. I want more Spider-Man. But yeah, I would recommend it. If you've seen the first movie and want to see the second one, go see it. That's all I can say. And that was the thing, is that like that first movie, I feel like didn't need a sequel, but having this, it's like, yeah, it's pretty good as a sequel. Um, the only thing that I would say is kind of a nitpick is that it's just the first half of a part of a full story. So, you know, you want obviously the second half,
Right.
but can't do anything about that. And yeah, that's basically what I've been watching. Um as for video games, I didn't complete a lot of games, but I have booted up a lot of shit. Uh for stuff that I completed, I finally finished the first Splinter Cell game. You ever play Splinter Cell?
Yeah.
Did you beat it? Wow.
You don't want my opinion on those. Go ahead.
You hate that
Oh,
game.
yeah.
So that's the thing. I played this on my Xbox One, and I played it through the backwards compatibility stuff.
Okay.
I really liked what they were doing, you know, with the whole lighting stuff, but there were moments where that game got me frustrated, because there would be times where like I'm hidden in the dark, or like I accidentally land on something, and like or I accidentally press the jump button, and the fucking guards are like, "What's that?" They immediately come towards my direction. There were a lot of like bullshit moments. But overall, like, it felt really satisfying to actually beat it. Um, yeah, Splinter Cell is a weird one, but to be fair, I have to shout out this channel, um, because when I got to a point where I felt like I don't know what I was doing wrong, I had to look up a guide. So I wanted to give a shout out to Center Strain 01 on YouTube, where they have a complete stealth video on like each level. and I watched it and I was just so surprised at like what they were doing, and I followed it to almost a T. There were moments where like sometimes, you know, there were some enemy path things that didn't work. But without those videos, I don't think I would have gotten through that game. And yeah, I think it's one of those factors of like this game being part of like that first, not first, but like being part of that like generation of consoles, being the Xbox and the PS2 games, where it's like there are moments where like it can be fun, but there are moments where like it could just get genuinely frustrating. Um, and that was also the other thing of Splinter Cell, is that like with the Xbox version, it gives you checkpoints where those are your only checkpoints, while on PC, you know, you have the option to quick save. So there were moments where like I get caught and like I'm pretty far into the checkpoint, and then I get set back to the checkpoint, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know how to do this. But yeah, finished the first Splinter Cell. I think I was more interested in the gameplay rather than the story, because the story is about like obviously spy shit. And what was it? Basically some foreign president was trying to start a war with America, and like it led to this whole thing of like espionage and just like this whole like conspiracy. And yeah, that was basically it. But yeah, if you would like to go back to Splinter Cell, I would say probably play the PC version, because at least you would have quick saves. And the next game that I actually finished, well, I finished again, is Spider-Man. I finished the first Spider-Man again. So I played the remastered, the one with the new face, boy. So I don't know what to feel. The new face is, what happened?
Feel betrayed.
Yeah, like I'm not a huge fan of the new face, because I like the old face. But it's not terrible, and it's not anything that takes me out of the world, obviously. But I just focused on the main story of that game, and I think focusing on the main story of that game is a big detriment, because there are legit moments I forgot about, that the game's like, well, time to wait for the next story thing. Let's go do the open world stuff. And I'm like, fuck, I forgot about this. Which essentially just like, all right, story sequence has been cut here. Go do side quests or something else. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to start swing around New York. I'm just going to, I don't know, jump everywhere. And then eventually the story kicks back up. So it's like there's a lot of like moments where you can't necessarily just, you know, beeline to the end of the game. You kind of just have to wait a little bit and then continue on. But overall, I think the story for that game is still pretty good. I like the fact that Dr. Octavius, Doc Ock, is a pretty sympathetic character, you know, even in that game. And yeah, fighting the other Spider-Man villains are pretty fun. You know, Mr. Negative being one of the big bads. He's also kind of sympathetic as well. And I forgot that like Mary Jane keeps bringing up that you guys broke up like a lot. But then I forgot that she actually makes it up. Well, not makes it up, but like she has a conversation with Peter, and it's just like, you know, I don't want to be the one that's saved all the time, and I feel guilty for having you saving me, and like I want to do the saving myself. And it's just like, oh, okay, I understand why she's so like defensive about certain situations. But yeah, I did not do any of the side quests. I did not do any of the side missions. I just like, the reason why I think I mentioned this is like the reason why I was going back to this game was to get all the trophies for the remastered. So I got all the trophies. All I had to do was just play the game on New Game Plus, and that was it. But yeah, overall, very good Spider-Man game. I'm probably going to play Miles Morales. Even though I did a stream of that with Wesley, but that was Wesley's copy. Now I can finally play the game on my PS5. Uh, and yeah, that's the stuff that I completed. Now the stuff I didn't complete that I just booted up because I was like, let me see what I can play next. You ever heard of Total War?
Yeah,
What do you know about Total War?
not a lot. I might be thinking of Advance War on Game Boy.
Oh, you're thinking of an Advanced War. That's a
Yeah.
different game. So Total War is what some people consider to be a 4X strategy game. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. So I bought Total War Warhammer because I think the Warhammer world is kind of cool. But I bought like everything for Total War Warhammer, and I bought Total War Warhammer 2. I realized that was a mistake to buy everything. uh because when you buy like the extra stuff, it is essentially you're buying new factions that get added to the map of the world. So that kind of becomes a big problem because the whole basis of the game when you're doing the campaign is you choose a race that you want to stick to or a faction, and then you get the world. And essentially what you have to do is go to different locations and conquer, different spots, different areas, or you have the option to act with diplomacy and work out a deal with certain regions and shit like that. All in the while, you have other areas trying to invade your stuff. So the game can be kind of complex in that whole ordeal because you're also managing like your money for your towns and stuff like that, and you also have to have exports to ship out. Basically, it's like a conqueror simulator, essentially. So I chose with the normal faction because that's also the other thing when you boot up the game is that like when you given the option of like what campaign you want to do, the game basically tells you, okay, you can choose this faction and they're basically normal of the game's like difficulty setting, or you can choose this faction and they're easy, or you can go with this faction but they're the hardest faction to basically control. So I went with the normal ones, which is basically the humans, but like it's this like emperor that is trying to like make a name for himself and something like that in the Warhammer lore. Um and yeah, there were a lot of times where the game really like kicked the shit out of me. Because the cool thing is that like the game when you want to go into battle, there is an option for either to you to basically quick resolve it, which is like you don't have to engage in the battle, or engage in the battle, and you can like strategically place your army in like specific spots in the battlefield. Um, it's neat. It's really neat. Uh, but I was more interested in like micromanaging my financials and like trying to work with diplomacy and shit like that, which is the wild part. Uh, but yeah, there were a lot of moments where like the game's like, nah, you can't do that, bro, because you don't have enough finance, or like, this faction hates you because you're a human, uh, or you can work out a deal with this faction, but they're not giving you a good end of the deal, so you probably are gonna have to go to war with them. And it's just like, oh, okay. So there were moments where like I'm trying to build like a new settlement, and then I don't know, or some motherfucker from the opposing side just comes to that settlement and beats the shit out of me. I'm like, God damn it, just let me make my new settlement. Um yeah, there's like legit fun moments, but I feel like I've kind of gotten to a point where I might be a little stuck because like I mentioned before, because of me buying the rest of the add-ons and shit like that, it added new factions. So those factions get added to the map. And essentially those new factions are making its way down to my area and they're kicking the shit out of me. um but that's just the other thing is that like you kind of have to like learn as you go with the mechanics. So now that I know some of the mechanics behind it, it's just like maybe if I were to redo this, I would have a better grasp on like how to do it. Or I could just choose an easier faction to go with and kind of go from there, because apparently the easiest faction to go with are the dwarves, because the dwarves have like all the finance in the world.
Nobody wants to be dwarf band though.
Yeah, nobody wants to be dwarf. Not even the dwarves. Well, no, that's no. The dwarves want to be dwarves. But they hate the fucking orcs. Everybody hates the orcs.
The orcs.
The orcs, the green boys. Um, Yeah, Total War Warhammer is pretty fun, and it just got me more interested in the other Total War games. I keep hearing that Total War Attila is like one of the best ones. So I'll probably get to that once I decide, when to call it quits with Total War Warhammer, because obviously I bought the sequel. But I do hear good things about the sequel when it comes to its campaign. I hear it's actually really, really good. And then of course there's Total War 3, but yeah, that's gonna be a while to like go to that. But so far the actual Total War games really interesting. Especially being somebody that has gotten somewhat into RTSs, these games are really, really neat. Just at like a gameplay mechanics standard. But besides strategy games, you ever play Lost Planet?
Yeah.
The first one?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on first Lost Planet?
I liked it.
Okay, I'm playing through that on PC right now. I kind of like it. I'm kind of digging it. I'm not too far into it. I'm like on the third mission. But I do like the mechanics of like kill the enemies and take their warmth essentially. So you can survive, and it's like that's pretty neat. And it's like it's kind of janky. It reminds me a little bit of like Monster Hunter because of like how jank it is. But
the guns felt good.
The shotgun feels good. But yeah, the game's a little janky. It's a little janky, but it's still kind of enjoyable. I don't know if there's like a dodge button. I don't think there is, because I've been trying to dodge out of enemy fire, and like that hasn't. I don't think I've found the button for that. I have to look again. But I also had to reduce the game's refresh rate, because I think if you exceed more than 60 hertz, the cutscenes get out of sync. And I'm like, okay, gotta take it down to 60. But
jank.
Yeah, it's a jank game for jank people.
So you love it.
I'm enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it. It's pretty fun. I kind of dig the story. I like your main character essentially being this dude who has like a robot arm, and it's just like, this is stupid, but this is Capcom back in the day, so like it makes sense.
Basically just Biocommander.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you're kind of like the bionic commando with your dumb robot arm. Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's pretty fun. I didn't get too far into it. I saw that apparently on Steam the second game got taken down because of some like Windows live service that it had back in the day. So apparently that's not working, because I think Microsoft shut down games for Windows Live. So I don't know if they're planning on reworking it. They say on like the Steam store page that they're reworking it, but who the fuck knows whether or not that's going to come back up. And then of course Lost Planet 3 is like there. I hear it's not the best, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So yeah, besides Lost Planet, I booted up Warhammer 4K Bolt Gun. Do you remember I talked about this?
No.
Okay, so this is like a Doom-esque game, as some people might call it, a boomer shooter. But it's based.
Has it been called a boomer shooter?
Yeah, it's been. Yeah, that's the new. That's the new genre, boomer shooter.
Great, thanks, guys.
Yeah, boomer. But yeah, it's based in the Warhammer 40K universe, and essentially you play as one of the Space Marines. And this is apparently like kind of like a sequel to that 3D game that I played, Warhammer Space Marine. Do you remember this?
No.
It was a Warhammer game that I played on stream like not that long ago. But this game is a sequel to it, kind of.
Fair, Warhammer does not interest me very much, so
I like the world, but there's no interesting characters that I can connect to. I really dig the world. But yeah, it's like there are moments where it's just like it's kind of bland when you come to your characters. Even beating that game, that Space Marine game, it was like, okay, we're here. All right. Like the second one, the sequel that's coming out, Total War, excuse me, not Total War. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. There we go. That sequel looks fun in its gameplay, but I do not care about the characters at all. Like the world is cool, but don't give a shit.
Right.
But this game, Bolt Gun, is super fun if you really are looking for a game that is like Doom, obviously, the original Doom. It's really fun. it's incredibly fun. I was playing on hard mode and I didn't get too far, because I realized I kind of like put myself in a corner, because I'm in an area where it's essentially just an onslaught of enemies, but my health is so fucking low. But overall, really fun shooting, really fun times. Yeah, other games that I'm kind of like playing through, I booted up Assassin's Creed 1 again. That's an old ass game. Yeah, it's an old ass game. I'm playing it on PC currently, and I had to like remap the buttons because the buttons are all fucked up. But now it's actually like okay. I didn't get too far into that. I got like 20 minutes into it, and yeah. And then I rebooted Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but that game runs weird on PC. There's a lot of PC issues where I think it's like shader caches.
I feel like every game you say that you play on PC, you're like, it has this issue.
Yeah, there's a lot of PC games that has a lot of issues.
PC is not fucking very like PC is great for gaming in general, but
yeah,
they always have like
especially now a lot of PC ports are like doing really bad, bro. Like there was a fucking update yesterday that the Last of Us PC port just got a big update again, in order to help with shader caches. So Senua's Sacrifice has a problem that I even experienced before on my old rig, where my old rig obviously wasn't powerful, but it experienced a lot of those like stutterings. And with my new rig, it's like it experiences some of those stutterings, but not to the extent of like before. But it still exists, and I've been trying to look on forums and stuff like that as to like why it's still happening. And it's because of shader compilation, and it's just because when you get into a new area and the stuff has to load in, that's essentially what's happening. It's loading in the new details and shit like that. So that's why it causes that stuttering. And I'm like, oh, and it's like there's really no big workaround with that. You just kind of have to deal with it as you go. So, but overall, I like Hellblade. You know, I'm excited for the sequel, so that's why I'm currently playing this. But you know, we'll see. We'll see when we get there. And moving on from PC, my PlayStation. So I got into that Lies of P demo. Lies of P. It's good. I like it. It reminds me of Bloodborne, but with puppets.
That's fair.
Yeah, Bloodborne puppets. I don't know. Like it's a pretty good demo because it gives you two bosses to fight. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm interested in the world because the world is so fucked. On top of that, the puppets are weird mechanical constructs. Like Pinocchio is a weird robot boy. And they're doing a thing that kind of reminds you of Nier Automata, where the bosses talk to you, but you can't understand them because what they're saying is kind of translated into like robot speak. So I'm assuming that probably once you get to the end of the game, it's going to give you the option to actually translate that, and you'll probably see what's going on with the robots. So I'm expecting Nier Automata shit to happen with the robots. But yeah, overall, it reminds me of Bloodborne. There's a lot of neat stuff that it's doing gameplay-wise where you're able to customize your weapons. Basically, the weapons that you have, you can switch out the blade and the handle, and like the handle gives you some weapon arts. Same thing with the blade. The blade gives you weapon arts, and you can like mix and match like which weapon arts you want. So yeah, it's just Bloodborne, but with puppets. That's it. And Timothée Chalamet as Pinocchio. But yeah, I would say play the demo. It's pretty fun. But you're right on that end. It's kind of hard at times because there was an enemy that I was struggling with for a good bit, which was like this. Yeah. So, but I beat it. I beat it. I got its weapon, and the weapon's pretty good.
Did you beat it, or did it beat you?
No, I beat it. I killed it. I killed that puppet. But yeah, the only thing that I would say is a bit of a nitpick is the dodging timing. It feels a little weird to me, but it's also one of those games where like you have to commit to the animation when you hit. Like once you do the full swing, you gotta commit to the full swing. Because you can't necessarily like dodge cancel out of it. So that's the
And
only.
it's like it's a Dark Souls game.
It's like it's Dark Souls. So yeah, Liza P, pretty good. I'm excited for the game. It's coming out September, I believe. And I've been playing a little bit of Street Fighter 6.
Nice.
It's a good Street Fighter. I've been doing a lot of like the character trials and like a lot of like tutorials and stuff like that. It's really informative, which is the good part on that end. I'm trying to learn a little bit more about frame timing, about like specific frames and like what I can do. Just overall really fun. I have not gotten into the online mode because I'm really I'm really scared like the people I might meet on online.
I think I'll do fine. You're
Uh,
good at PvP or fighters.
well, Street Fighter is like my like not my best one. But I'll probably give it a shot eventually. Um, I'm playing as Marissa. If you've seen any promo material for Marissa, essentially she's this giant gladiator woman. That her combat style is like Greco-Roman wrestling. She's really fun. And yeah, I just been doing like character trials to see who else I'm having fun with. And yeah, Marissa is pretty fun. Zangief is also really fun. Um, where a lot of his wrestling moves are really cool since he's a grappler. There's a lot of like cool damaging shit you can do with Zangief. But yeah, Street Fighter 6 is pretty fun. And I hear really good things about the single player content, the world tour mode that it has. Where you can essentially just learn different moves from like, other Street Fighter characters and basically create an amalgamation of like different moves for your character. And you can have avatar fights with people, which is like the wild shit. But even in its like storyline stuff, I hear it's pretty fun. So I'll probably give that a shot eventually. So yeah, that's basically it for games and movies. The one final thing I want to leave on is well, two things actually. Still playing through Tears of the Kingdom. I'm kind of heading towards the last area, which is like where I'm gonna get like the next dungeon, the next big dungeon. And that game is still pretty fun, kind of have to like get all like the map essentially filled out. Still got to do that. But the other thing I want to talk about with that is I forgot that there is a subsection called the chasm, I think it's called, or like the depths essentially. And that I feel like is going to be a completely different stream because of how big that underworld is. It's as big as the regular map up top, so it's like there's a lot of shit to explore underneath. But I'll get there when I get there. And yeah, the final thing is I've been debating whether or not to stream the Final Fantasy 16 demo because I'm excited for this game and I hear that the demo is really good, but I kind of just want to go into Final Fantasy 16 when it comes out, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, you there.
Say again.
I'm debating on whether or not to start up Final Fantasy 16. And I'm thinking that I should just wait till the game releases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Okay.
wouldn't you?
No, because like I keep hearing that the demo is really good and it actually like transfers your save data once you beat the demo. But I want to wait for this game essentially. Yeah. Because I was originally thinking on streaming it, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that to myself because I'm gonna have to wait a couple more days till the game comes out. Because it comes out the 22nd, I believe. But yeah, that's it. That's all I did. Nothing else. All right. You want to get into the news?
Do you want to get into the news?
I don't know. Do you? Are you ready for news?
I gotta sneeze. I lied. I still have to sneeze, but it's gonna come out on its own at some point.
All right. So yeah, you ready to go into this?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So first thing that's up. Let's talk about Batman Part 2. Been delayed.
Yeah, I'm still excited.
Yeah. But you know, the reason why it's delayed is obviously due to the writing strike that's happening. So we'll see.
I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, I don't really care. I don't know how.
I I like the first one, the Robert Pattinson Batman, but I'm not really like frothing at the mouth for the sequel to happen. But then on top of that, you know, there is a writing strike that's happening, so it is understandable as to why it's happening. So we'll see. Hopefully those people get their monies. But yeah, you know, not too anything, to be honest. Like I feel nothing towards it. But you know, Batman 2. Speaking of movie properties, do you remember the Friday the 13th game?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
We all played with White, remember?
Yeah, but did you like it?
No.
Okay, well, good for you then. This game is going to be delisted in December 31st, 2023. And it will stop functioning in 2024 on December 31st as well.
Good. Fuck you, Wade.
So yeah, all I know is that this game had a lot of like legal issues because there was a whole battle with like who had the rights to Friday the 13th and like
wasn't it like a writer of it or something?
Yes,
or somebody had rights, and then the company as well that had the movie rights, all that, right?
Yeah, and that's why the game like stopped updating because they couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the whole appeal of the game was, you know, survivors versus Jason, and then Jason getting new costumes and your survivors getting new costumes, and then
such a bad game.
Yeah, I really like the concept, but like I wasn't too into it. I know a lot of people obviously go to Dead by Daylight because it's basically the same concept. And on top of that, you know, there's a lot of other games that are doing this concept as well. I would say the Evil Dead game kind of does that, but it's more of like a horde mode kind of thing where you're fighting off demons.
Mm-hmm.
But the next thing is going to be the Texas Chainsaw game that's happening.
Yeah, and then we'll have the same issues.
Yeah.
The gameplay is very bad.
It's very jank.
Game. If they polished it, made it, I don't see. It's hard because it's a PvP game where it's one guy versus many, and then you don't want them to get out too easy. But like, I mean, I'm sure I didn't learn how to play properly, so I was always just like, when I got caught, I got caught.
Yeah, so that was the thing. I remember playing with Wade, and Wade played that game for a really, I wouldn't say a long time, but he played a good amount of it, and he realized that there was a lot of broken builds. So I remember he demonstrated one of the broken builds, and he was like, yeah, he's like, you guys have no chance. I was like, fucking hell, man.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind, like, most shit I'll rage in PvP and stuff, but that's just like, I just don't have a way of winning, so I'm like, oh, it's like watching your like brother beat you in something, and you're like, well, he's always been better, so whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, the game is going off pretty soon.
Good, fuck it. Bye, Wade. You can't play it anymore. Sucks for you. Bye 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 bye.
But it will be dropping to $4.99, and then DLC will be 99 cents each.
Oh man, make sure you buy that.
Yeah, make sure I'll buy that for a dead game. All right, speaking of dying, the first player to reach hardcore level 100 in Diablo 4 has seen their character permadie after 82 hours of play when their game disconnects from the server. And this is from VGC News. So I believe you could probably go into that.
Yeah, it sucks for him.
So that's why I asked you. I'm like, do you believe an offline mode would be good for this game?
No.
Okay. Well, Fuck that guy, man.
I can understand like people being upset about that shit, but like I literally said it earlier. Day 1 through like 3 or 4 of the game coming out, get ready to not be online. You know what I'm saying? Like realistically, it's the first day. The first day is the one you have the hardest. And the whole thing with his character disconnecting and dying, like, does that suck? Yeah, man. But like, that's not the first fucking time this shit's happened to anybody. Like, it's not gonna be the last time it happens to anybody. You know?
Yeah, but I feel like having a hardcore, option doesn't really make sense.
Not really, not anymore.
Yeah, because of the fact that this shit can happen. I understand it if it was offline and you do it hardcore, but it's just like being online only and having this shit happen doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw the clip of him getting disconnected, and it fucking sucks. Like it fucking sucks.
I mean,
but the thing is that the reason why he was doing that was for like this thing.
Engraving?
Yeah, the engraving. He got his name engraved, obviously, because he has evidence. And Blizzard Blizzard saw it and they were like, okay, yeah, you're going on the engraving. So
I mean, once you hit a level 100 with your character, there's really not much more to do anyway, so.
Yeah. But still, 82 hours of play. Not like you're 109.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He should get good.
Yeah, he should just get better internet.
I can't believe he didn't dodge that lag spike, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, should have dodged it. Speaking of dodging, Aspire Media, the company that
Aspire
Media.
No, you like heavily leaned into the
Aspire.
Aspire.
Well, they might as well be called Aspire. Came out with a tweet updating on their restored DLC content for Star Wars Knights 2 of the old, well, KOTOR 2. Basically, I forgot about this. So, Knights of the Old Republic, right? Do you remember this game?
Knights of the Old Republic, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the sequel?
No.
Okay. So, I was interested in playing Knights of the Old Republic. I still am interested in playing the first one because I hear they're genuinely really good. So, the sequel was developed by Obsidian, I believe. But this game had a lot of budgetary issues that the game is essentially broken on PC. So, over the course of years, people have basically created a restored content DLC, which basically brings back a lot of the cut stuff that is still within the program that they had to cut out due to budgetary reasons. So, Aspire Media was planning on bringing back the restored content as DLC for the Switch version of Knights of the Old Republic 2, specifically. Now, with this update, they're not doing it anymore. So, yeah. So now they're providing, refunds, but in the sense of codes for other games. And yeah, it's just a feel bad deal. Because that's what a lot of people were hoping for, were that restored content DLC coming to the game. So that's one of the biggest things I keep hearing about playing the Knights of the Old Republic games is just like, first game is fine, second game you're gonna have to get a lot of mods and shit because it is kind of a buggy mess. So got to keep that in mind. But yeah. Unfortunate for a lot of people that bought the game on Switch. I am one of those people. I bought the game on Switch, but I didn't know that the game was going to have a restored content DLC. But not happening, regardless. So, moving on. Speaking of budgetary reasons and other shit that gets in the way of development, Jason Schreier from Bloomberg has basically written an article. I was unable to read the whole article, but he puts a whole key point thing in his tweet about what what went wrong with Redfall? There you go. That's a mouthful. So the biggest things that he pointed out were that Redfall was not a game that Arcane was keen on working on. That was the biggest thing. And it was during the time where ZeniMax, the original parent company of Bethesda, and Arcane really wanted to make money back. And it was during the time where Prey was not a big success. So they basically came to Arcane and were like, we need something that has a broader appeal to the audience, but also has multiplayer function and microtransactions that we can put out. So I remember this. There was a lot of Bethesda games that kind of came out that had a lot of microtransaction stuff that a lot of people were really pissed about. One of the biggest things that I remember was that Wolfenstein game with the twins. I forget what's it called, but it came out after Wolfenstein 2, and it was like a co-op game. But that game got bombarded with like really bad reviews because of the fact that it had a lot of shit microtransactions. And it wasn't particularly a good game. So Arcane had to work on a new game, but with no idea on like where it was going to go. After that, because of it wasn't because of the unsuccessful release of Prey, a lot of the people from Arcane kind of left. So the staff was already like smaller. And like I said, there was really no direction on where they would go on this idea for a multiplayer game. So basically Redfall was thought of, but it was something that team wasn't really, what's what I'm looking for? They weren't on board with the idea overall. And on top of that, this was during the transition period of Bethesda going to Microsoft. So a lot of like team members were honest in saying that they really wanted Microsoft to cancel the game. But because Microsoft was so hands off with them, they were like, continue to do what you're doing and we'll see how it turns out. So microtransactions got taken away. And the other thing is Microsoft was really hoping that Arcane would use their arcane magic, and this is a lot similar to like Anthem, where it had the BioWare magic, and they were really hoping for them to make a pretty good game, because Arcane has done really good games, but they've sold not that well. But yeah, overall the issue with Arcane with Redfall is that it was a game with no direction. That's just it. So yeah, just really interesting like key points that Jason Schreier put out. And yeah, Redfall, I don't know if Redfall can have like a second chance like Cyberpunk, but here's hoping. Your thoughts?
I guess maybe they could have a second shot. I doubt they will. I think like that's gonna be.
Yeah, I feel like at this point it's the damage has been done, so you can't really save it from itself. They would have to do a complete overhaul of that game, but yeah, it's unfortunate. I feel kind of bad for Arcane. Oh. Speaking of feeling bad, before we get into the Summer Games Fest, Crystal Dynamics, Embracer Group announces restructuring program that will result in layoffs, studio closures, and studio closures and project cancellations and suspensions. So, Embracer Group, the other big entity that's been buying up other studios, put out an open letter on just them changing some shit around, which had to have Crystal Dynamics, which I completely forgot got bought by Embracer Group, Dynamics had to come out being like, "We're okay. We'll keep working on Perfect Dark and Tomb Raider. Don't worry, we're alive." But yeah, that's the biggest thing, is that what the fuck does that mean? And I have to look at like what other studios have been bought by Embracer, but there's a lot of studios that have been bought by Embracer. So who knows what the fuck that means when it comes to studio closures, because I feels bad. And speaking of people who might feels bad, Microsoft might feels bad because the FTC will try to block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard.
Do you think they're going to?
Everything's not looking great for Microsoft, to be honest.
Well, I'm gonna be real. Microsoft is like waded through all this shit, bro. I think they're just gonna make it through. This is like the last stepping stone, right?
I mean, they've been blocked on multiple fronts. Like the UK has blocked them.
They made it through the UK.
Did they? I thought they made it through the EU, but not the UK.
Are the EU and the UK different things now?
Bro, Brexit? Do you know what the Brexit shit was about? Yeah, UK is not part of the EU anymore. That's why like a lot of British people are like, fucking, what are we doing here?
They're independent. That's all they wanted.
They want, yeah, and it's gotten and bitten them on the ass, so that's why they're having a huge problem. But anyways, but the FTC was the biggest one, because I believe the FTC also had, I think they were, what was the whole thing? I forget. The FTC was doing something with, I think there was a whole other like lawsuit or something with the FTC, as far as I remember. All I know is like there was the whole thing with the sexual assault and allegations, but that's from the EEOC and the
they're part of the UK.
The EEOC?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Did they Brexit too?
Yeah, they did. They did a Brexit. No, the EEOC is a completely different section of law, but they revolve around employment and stuff like that. You know, Federal Trade Commission is obviously for businesses and shit like that. But this is big news because of the fact that FTC is actively trying to like stop it. So key points. The Federal Trade Commission is set to file an injunction seeking to block Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard. From a person familiar with the matter told CNBC. The other key point is the FTC has already sued to block the $6.7 billion acquisition, choosing to bring the case before its internal administrative law judge. And the other point is, by filing an injunction, the FTC is seeking to stop the acquisition from going through before the deal's end, which is July 18th. So, I don't think this is going to go in Microsoft's favor, obviously, because they're not doing so well with acquiring this shit. And I think it's looking really bad for Bobby Kotick, because he was really hoping to essentially shift all the shit from his side off to Microsoft. So,
damn, Bobby really out there shifting.
Bobby out there shifting, trying to get his dating life with, but he can't because people keep memeing him as the devil. So he can't. This is real. This is a legit thing. Yeah. So Diablo? Diablo on your Xbox?
Really gave Bobby Kotick the old Diablo $100 payment.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes by, but July 18th is the deadline. So
it sounds bad. But at the same time, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, big corporation.
I still want to play on everything anyways, and I don't care who goes where.
Well, I think it's just from my standpoint, it's just like big corporation trying to acquire big corporation, and it's just like, yeah, fuck it. Stop buying big corporations, big corporation. I don't care. Diablo. All right. With that said, we have gotten into the week of Summer Game Fest. So, did you watch opening night?
Yeah.
with Jeff Kiwi.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about the shit that was on there.
There was shit.
Starting off with Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown.
Yeah. Yep.
You like Prince of Persia?
Yeah, you're right. I do.
Yeah, that's right.
This looks okay.
I think it looks pretty all right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it looks okay. I don't think it looks great.
So
We'll see.
this game got backlash on Twitter because people are like, "What the fuck? What happened to the remake of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time?"
Mm-hmm.
But I think this game looks pretty fun. Obviously because Metroid Dread is pretty fun. So, it looks kind of Metroid Dread-ish.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. Okay.
No. Yeah. But this game is coming out next year, January 18th. So, look forward to that. The next thing was an extended look at Mortal Kombat 1. You like Mortal Kombat?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we had a whole discussion about this, about our feelings of Mortal Kombat. It looks all right. The gameplay seems still a little stiff. Assists look cool. That's what the cameos are. They're assists. But I'm not too hyped about Mortal Kombat 1. I think the other thing is that, like, I was just really hoping that, Liu Kang would have made a completely different world, but he was like, nah, let's bring everyone back. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, Liu Kang? You're a god. But fuck it, here we are.
Fuck it, here we are.
Fuck it, here we are. And moving on from that, who said fuck it, here we are? Path of Exile 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those monsters seem pretty cool. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, the game looks really pretty.
Yeah. But who knows?
I don't know, man. It looks I think it looks better than Diablo, but I think it for sure is gonna pull some of the player base.
Probably. Wait, before I move on, Mortal Kombat comes out in September. There's gonna be a playable build, I believe. I forget. Ed Boon announced this. I don't know if he said Evo or some other convention.
I think he said Vivo.
He said Vivo. Yeah.
Or maybe Heave-Ho.
There'll be a playable build eventually of Mortal Kombat 1. And the Path of Exile comes out on July 28th. So get looking forward to that. Yeah, that's right. What else we should get looking forward to?
Oh.
Exoprimal Cross Street Fighter. So you said you hate dinosaurs? Well, fuck you. Ryu can do a Hadouken to a dinosaur.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're all fired up for that one, buddy.
I don't know. I like the concept of Exoprimal, but I'm not in the mood to get just an online only shooter, which is also team based. So
wait, what?
Exoprimal, that's what Exoprimal is. It's a team based shooter against hordes of dinosaurs.
Oh, the Street Fighter characters are coming to it.
Yeah, they're essentially going to be mech suits.
I thought what you were saying is like Street Fighter made a like side game.
Oh no. That's what,
its own game.
No, when this was shown, I was genuinely confused. I was like, "Oh, is this an announcement of a new character? Oh, Mecha Ryu? Wait, Exoprimal?"
Yeah,
I was so fucking confused. But yeah, essentially that's what they're gonna be. It's Ryu and Guile are gonna be mech suits essentially, and they have their move sets. So I'm kind of interested to see a Shoryuken done on a T-Rex or a Triceratops. But
AK-47.
Yeah, using your AK-47 to do a Hadouken. Yeah, it's very goofy, but we'll see. Exoprimal is coming out, I believe. July 14th on PC and the Game Pass, and I believe in other consoles as well. And after that, they showed a little bit more of gameplay for Witchfire, which I completely forgot about. Which is
looks like ass.
Wow. Well, guess what? That that ass is coming to early access pretty soon.
Early access.
On September 20th. It looks all right. It looks neat. I think it looks neat. But we'll see how it actually plays. Speaking of ass and shooters, Crossfire Sierra Squad for your VR is coming out. Get excited. Get excited.
August. It's coming August.
Okay. All
Oh
right.
yeah, Remnant 2, baby.
You like Remnant from the Ashes? Get hyped for Remnant 2. Back to Remnant.
Back to Ashes.
Back to the Ashes. Yeah, coming out July 25th. We've known about Remnant 2, but they showed a little bit more gameplay. It looks visually nicer than the first one, to be honest.
It does. Holy shit, the first one looked like some fucking kid's high school project for a video game, bro.
Okay, I wouldn't take it that far, but
What do you, no. What do you mean?
I'm not gonna be mean about it. It had a visual. It looked visually appealing at times.
It was
but
an indie game, the first one.
I would say it's a AA game. I wouldn't call it indie.
I would call it a fucking C game, you goddamn bitch. There's no way it's a
I would say AA. Look at who developed it and who published it.
Okay, it was a D+ game.
It was okay. B minus.
There, I'll settle for that. That's fine. We're good there.
B minus. But yeah, visually the second game looks more appealing. It's obviously still trying to do the crazy shit that the first game did, where you're still having like this fantasy setting, but with also robots. So yeah, we'll see when the game comes out. And you like Sonic, bro?
No.
All right. Well, fuck you, cause Sonic Superstars.
I fucking hate Sonic. I hate a lot of things. I'm so sorry.
So this is a 4-player co-op Sonic game. You know, if you want to play with your buddies, have fun.
Are you excited for it?
I'm not a huge Sonic fan, so I can't really.
Well, fuck you, you piece of shit. You're literally asking me if I like it, and then you're like, I don't like it either.
Yeah, 'cause fuck you, Sonic's back, baby.
Oh, is it Werewolf Sonic? That I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's not Werewolf Sonic, unfortunately. But yeah, it's basically, I'm going to assume Sonic 1, but with like, you know, 3D, 2D.
And you know what's not gonna happen in Sonic's world? Honky Star Rail.
I'm gonna rail my star till I honk. Coming to PS5.
So do you know what this is?
Yes, I've seen gameplay for it. I'm not interested in it because it's fucking Hoyoverse shit.
How do you say the first word?
Honkai? Star Rail?
There's no way it's Honkai.
It's Honkai, yeah.
Oh, what a fucking dumb name.
That's why it's rail my star till I honk. It's well, gameplay wise, it's a turn-based RPG, but it's by the people who are doing Genshin Impact.
So this is free to play?
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna play it.
I mean, I hear it's pretty good.
Looking at it, I was like, I'm not buying this, but now that you said it's free to play, for sure I'll try it out.
It's on PC already. I believe it's also on mobile, but yeah, it's the announcement essentially is for PS5. My thing is that obviously I'm not gonna play it because it's a free to pay to honk game. But I don't know. Like I said, I hear it's pretty alright, but it's just like I'm not a huge fan of Genshin Impact. I'm probably never gonna play Genshin Impact, and I just
you never played it?
No, never played it.
It was fun.
Yeah, but I'm not into the whole free to play games. So I'd rather pay my game and then just get into it, and that's it. I want to rail the star till I honk. Speaking of railing,
why are you scared of free?
No, I'm no scared of free. You know what
This game is fucking terrible. By the way,
you know what I'm scared of? Puppets.
Shut the fuck up.
And I'm scared of lying to P. Yeah, basically it was just a gameplay trailer for Lies of P. And then that was the day they announced the demo. So I got excited for that. And it's pretty good, like I said. Moving on.
Can you wait until you get to the island where all the boys go that are bad and turn into pigs, just like the movie?
You mean donkeys?
All right, doggies.
Yeah. So you want to know something about that demo?
What?
You fight a dude in a donkey outfit.
Wow. It's almost like it's a shot for shot of
Lies of P.
This dude's gonna fucking goddamn take all your money from it.
Yeah, because like you got to go save your dad, Geppetto, and this dude in a donkey outfit's just like, "Fuck you, Geppetto," and you're like, "No, leave my dad alone." And then you fight the dude in the donkey outfit, and then you take his costume.
Totoro?
Yeah, yeah, he's like Totoro. I don't know what you said.
That is better.
Okay.
I say a lot of things.
Yeah, I know you do. Anyway, speaking of a lot of things, do you know anything about Akira Toriyama's Sandland?
No, it looks bad though.
The game?
Yeah.
I think it looks all right.
I mean, it depends on like what you end up doing in it, I guess. But
yeah, I think it's just an open world. Apparently, it's supposed to be an RPG, but I have no idea. It looks like an open world action RPG, possibly.
yeah, you're gonna need like more.
Yeah, because they showed hints
what's
of
going on.
not even hints, but they showed a little bit of gameplay, but like it was very unclear as to what was happening.
Looks very Dragon Ball.
I mean, it's Akira Toriyama, so it makes sense. But
Yeah.
But apparently Sandland, because I was guessing, because I was like, is Sandland his new IP or something? And no, apparently Sandland is like an old thing that he tried starting up, but because it wasn't as successful as Dragon Ball, he kind of like shifted away from it.
Okay.
So, but obviously it has the Toriyama hints everywhere. I'm interested in like the tank gameplay and like the mech suit stuff, and punching dinosaurs with your mech suit. Because who doesn't love dinosaurs? Anyways, but it looks. I think it looks okay. That's just me. And the other shit.
Dinosaurs.
I love dinosaurs. You know what I don't like though?
I don't know. I hope you're not gonna say the next thing that's coming through.
I don't like Throne of Liberty, an
What?
MMO game with thrones and liberty.
This game looks fucking sick, bro. I'm
right.
turning into a hawk and I'm gonna kill things.
All right, do what you want, bro. Do what you want in your Amazon MMO game.
Thank God Amazon finally made something cool.
Yeah, unlike New World. What is that? Nobody cares.
Exactly. No, people lost their shit about that game when it came out. They were like, "Ah, it's so cool," and I'm like, "You want to be a like Spanish settler or I don't fuck a warrior with a dumb hat that shoots guns?"
Yeah, that's what people want from Amazon. You want Jeff Bezos to be in there? Yeah, that's what people wanted. Yeah, I honestly don't remember gameplay from it. I think it was just a CD trailer, right? But yeah, it's a big MMO.
It was like a little gameplay there.
Okay. And the next thing is Warhaven, the giant brawler game, which I thought was the gameplay for Throne of Liberty.
Chivalry a little bit.
Yeah, but it's obviously more fantasy.
You have a lot more fluid motion versus in Chivalry it's a lot of like very choreographed. What's the word? You can like tell when someone's doing something.
Yeah.
Telegraphed.
Wait, so Chivalry is first person. What?
I'm looking at the trailer right now for this. One of the chick from what's it called? Looks like she's in it. From Elden Ring with the red hair.
Oh yeah, I thought that too, and I was like, no, that's not her. That's a different design, but it does look somewhat similar. It looks really similar, yeah, but it's not.
But the characters like armor and stuff look super chivalry.
Yeah. But yeah, it's another fantasy game where it's basically giant, like Battlefield-esque shit.
I'd probably try it out.
I mean, it's coming to Steam Next Fest, so you can probably try it on your computer on the lowest settings.
I can't.
I'm saying try on the lowest low settings.
Yeah, League of Legends works. Don't worry.
All right, fair enough. Speaking of lowest of lows, well, actually, this wasn't too low. Alan Wake 2 gets a little bit of gameplay. There was a whole thing with Sam Lake talking on screen about how the game is going to be fucking weird, but I'm very interested. And yeah, you have two characters to choose, either Alan or your new character, Saga. And yeah, you just got to fight some creepy shit.
You can either play as Alan or Awake.
You could be Alan or Woke. choose.
But
That's
if you're
right.
woke, your Bud Light won't work.
Yeah. You got to shoot your Bud Light cans. That's very topical. Anyway, speaking of shooting shit, Warhammer 4K Space Marine 2 gets another trailer. Like I said, I dig the combat. The first game was all right as just a very basic hack and slash. And I'm very interested to see how crazy this fucking game goes. The horde shit looks insane because it's very reminiscent of fucking A Plague Tale with the rats. But with this you got like alien hordes like swarming at you. But yeah, looks cool. And they also announced 3-player co-op for it. So
Nice.
get to shooting with your buddies. Speaking of stuff to do with your buddies, well no, that's a lie. Yes Your Grace Snowfall is apparently a sequel to another game called Yes Your Grace. And yeah, it's just you're a monarch and you have to make decisions. That's all I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The thing that fucking confused the shit out of me was John Carpenter's Toxic Commando.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. The gameplay looks very Back 4 Blood. That's why I was like, wait, is this Back 4?
Did you get DM seed?
Surprisingly, no. You know what I actually got fucking blocked for? Do you want to know?
Sure.
Do you want to know the name?
No.
Spider-Man.
Wow.
Fucking when the director of Spider-Man 2 came out to talk on stage, that was the reason why I got blocked. Just for him talking. Which I was like, what the fuck? It was because of Viacom. And I was like, okay. So I just went into YouTube. YouTube gave me the option, you want to cut that clip? And I'm like, yeah. And it's just like, all right, now you're good. I was like, what the fuck was that? It was only for 2 minutes, bro. Anyways, Spider-Man 2, too many Spider-Man. But we're talking about John Carpenter. This thing looks weird because it's a co-op shooter with John Carpenter's name. And for those that don't know, John Carpenter is a big gamer. He loves video games. Like, that's actually a legit thing. He actually really likes video games. But I was not expecting to have his name be on a co-op shooter.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would check this out. It looks pretty okay. As long as it's not like the game you just said, Red Dead Redemption or something.
You mean Back 4 Blood?
That,
Left 4 Blood? Back 4 Dead?
That, I'll play Toxic Commander.
All right. You do you. And then you play it and you're like, I fucking hate it. Why did I buy it? Why did I make Chonch buy it?
I don't buy it.
Anyways, speaking of Chonch might consider on buying, Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, my brother's stoked for this.
I know nothing of the Baldur's Gate games. I know the first one is pretty good from what I've been hearing. 3 has been in development for a really long time, but this trailer that they showed shows the villain Gortash, voiced by Jason Isaacs. Jason Isaacs is a pretty cool actor. But yeah, the game is coming. It's in early access, but it's coming to its 1.0 in August 31st. So look forward to Baldur's Gate 3.
More gates.
Speaking of more gates, because I got fucking gate kept by Viacom for fucking Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 gets its announcement for its release, which is October 20th this year. You like Spider-Man?
No.
Okay. Well, the other thing I want to mention is that when the game got announced, they announced like the pre-order bonus, which is a bunch more costumes. They look okay. The neat thing
Go
the neat thing is they got actually different artists to come up with the costume ideas.
Nice.
So that's a neat little thing. But people were shitting on those costumes. Robin?
The Power Ranger costume looks cool.
Oh yeah, the Tokusatsu suit for Miles. Yeah.
Sock
Yeah,
yes.
you got it. Speaking of you got it, Pal World
This shit
enters
looks cool as fuck.
enters early access in 2024. I remember this game was shown, and yeah, it's essentially just shooting
Just gunning
Pokemon.
down Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this shit?
And
Kita is gonna hate that game, dog.
but the animals can protect themselves. They got guns too. Not like they
people's
don't
gonna be
have.
like, no, it's racist.
It's animalist. I don't think that's a word, but still, you know. So yeah, Pal World is coming out. These are the same people that did another game like this, but essentially it's just slavery for animals.
Jesus.
Yeah, but though a lot of those like animals in this game look really similar to Pokemon, and I'm surprised that Nintendo hasn't come out, or Game Freak hasn't come out and been like, yo, you can't do that, bro.
Yeah, the one that was floating in the beginning was like very, very, very close to one of the pink ones. I don't know.
It looked like a Pokemon. That's what it looked like.
Did.
Speaking of stuff that
Stop.
I'm trying to segue, all right?
This is so bad though.
No, you shut up. But you know what? It's not looking bad. The Korean MMO Black Desert is getting an expansion called Land of the Morning Light, which is doing a lot of Korean-based folklore, which is kind of cool. I thought it looked like Neo for a little bit. I was like, oh shit, that looks kind of cool. But then, you know.
The folklore thing's cool. This game's bad.
All right.
Have you played Black Desert?
No, I have not. I only know that the character creator was like really in depth.
The game's horrible.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe this expansion might make it good. You don't know.
Moving on.
Moving on. Lord of the Rings Return to Moria is coming out. It's essentially a co-op crafting survival game where you're a bunch of dwarves and you go back into the mines of Moria and you gotta mine some shit. So yeah, you like Lord of the Rings?
I do.
Yeah. See, so Return to Moria.
I'd rather play Gollum.
Yeah, everybody too. Everybody loves Golem. Speaking of falling in love, you know who loves you more than anything? Your ghost wife in Banisher's in Banisher's Ghost of New Eden. So I forgot that this is Don't Nod. So Don't Nod did Vampire and fuck, what is that game called? Not Stranger Things. What the fuck is it called? Oh my god, he's gonna kill me.
Are you dead yet?
No. What the fuck is it called? I forget the name. I don't like the writing in this fucking game. Oh fuck. What is the name? What is the name? What is the name, bro? What is it? Life is Strange. God damn it. So dumb. Yeah. So it's by Don't Nod. So if you like Vampire, get excited because you hang out with your ghost wife. That's all I got for that. But shut up, everybody! Shut up! Get out of here, ghost wife. You know who's cooler than ghost wife?
Ghost husband.
Ghost husband, and that ghost husband being Kiryu Kazuma, also known as the man who erased his name. So gameplay.
Yeah, this shit looks silly. This is probably cool.
Yeah, that's the whole point of Yakuza. Yakuza's just all fucking stupid shit. But yeah, this game is supposed to be taking place in between Yakuza, well, after Yakuza 6 and before Yakuza 7. But the action is pretty cool, and Kiryu has like a thread Spider-Man thing, which looks dumb, but I'm very excited going to play. Then after that, Under the Waves was shown, which I guess it's a like one of kind of like Abzu sort of, where you're like exploring the depths and stuff like that. You know, looks interesting. Oh, I forgot to mention, The Man Who Erased His Name is coming out November 8th. You can pre-order and get a bunch of other Yakuza characters. Cool. I don't think there is a release date for Under the Waves. Yeah, no, there's no.
It will release when you are under the waves.
Yeah, it will release when you're under the thing. Anyways, speaking of Call of Duty, yo, you like Nick Merckx? You like Tim the Tatman?
Nick Merckx already got his bundle pulled.
Yeah, well, guess what? Tim the Tatman's trying to do the exact same thing.
He already got his pulled too.
All right, you like those two?
No.
All right. I'm
I
sorry.
also don't really like Call of Duty.
It's the goofiest shit in the world. That news was the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
What, did they got announced?
No, the fucking whole thing of well, I don't remember the reason why they pulled Nick Merckx.
So
It was like
he got pulled because
it was some comments that he made, right?
he essentially was saying the way that he said something about people protesting for Pride.
Mm.
They were protesting like near a school or something,
Oh
and
god.
he had said, not this nicely. He said it worse. You shouldn't be doing that to your kids. Which the way he made it sound, this actually bothers the shit out of me because it's just like it's not how people are. But the
Yeah.
way he had said it makes it sound like all
they were
gay people are predators of children.
Yeah, they were
and it's
sucking and fucking in front of kids essentially.
yeah, it's like that's not what it is. It's just not what it is.
Yeah.
And like if that's how you think things are, you need to get yourself some fucking help because you obviously don't know how to like be normal with other people. I don't know.
Yeah, or
Like
understand certain people's experiences and things like
you
that.
don't have to. You don't have to understand them. Just fucking shut your fucking mouth and like let it go.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
nobody's like, worrying about you. If he wanted to go protest for anything, most people would be like, okay, whatever, or
Don't-
actually probably support him because he's Nick Merckx, first of all.
Yeah.
But that's not even the stupidest part about this whole thing. The stupidest part about this is Tim the Tatman going, well, we both got our bundles together, so you should take mine too. And I'm like,
Yeah,
you don't want to die on that bridge, brother. Like,
yeah,
that's dumb.
it was essentially like backing up Nick Merck's like whole thing.
Yeah.
It was stupid.
Well,
and you got
this whole thing is coming off of also like, which I know like this is not a direct correlation of it, but
Mhm.
it happens to be around the same time as when Bud Light did the whole trans thing,
Yeah.
and people were like, "Fuck Bud Light," and it's like you guys are acting just like these like hick fucking retards in fucking all these fucking southern states that are just pissy and like don't want to change anything, and it's like you want to be those people. Be those people.
This is the weird thing. I guess not to like try to dive into the politics of like this whole thing, but it's like it's so stupid at the fact that like people are just like up in arms against people who just want rights. That's all it is. They just want rights, but they think that it's like you said, like they're being predators towards kids, and it's like that's not what they're doing. They're not actively going out there to protest. We want to fuck your kids.
Right.
Like it's like the wildest shit in the world, and that's why I'm like, I don't get it. I really don't. And I think this whole fucking situation was stupid. Now that you put it into the context of like the whole thing, what Nick Merckx was saying is just like, that makes him more of a fucking prick. That makes him even more stupid.
Yep.
And
it's very simple to, it's what's it called? You have nothing nice to say nothing at all.
No,
It's
yeah.
that easy. But
Yeah.
he has a platform,
Mhm.
and
probably he has
people don't know how to just let things be.
he has
Everyone has an opinion.
yeah,
Sorry.
he has a platform, but it's like he has people who are like-minded like that, and it's just like they continue to spread their dislike for people who are trans or gay, and it's a continuous cycle of this shit.
That's one of my favorite things is like when, so like you could go on a forum, right?
Mhm.
And you could be like, Nick Merckx is transphobic, homophobic, like all this stuff, right? And like, in your mind you might be right, and maybe it is a little right.
Mhm.
But you would be like, you could be like, his followers are just like him, they're all this, and then the truth is they probably are, right?
Yeah.
And he would just be like, no, that's not my audience at all. You don't know my audience. And it's like, no, I do know your audience. It's very simple to like watch a stream of yours and be like, oh, he's just like this, like, uh, like jock dude that like thinks he's the best at everything he does and he's so good and whatever, right? It's just one of those like because I'm trying to think of like it's like when I think of Logan Paul and Jake Paul, and like back in the day when people would be like, your audience is like 12, dude. Like, why are you being an asshole all the time and teaching these kids like to be like this? And then they'd be like, no, my audience is like people in their 30s, and it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's definitely not. Especially the fucking
Right.
Call of Duty audience, definitely fucking not.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
these people would like argue, like, "Oh, I'm not talking to kids." And it's like you are actually. You're teaching kids like such horrible things when you could just man up and be a like real
And
good person to teach.
yeah, I think that's
proper
also the fault of parenting as well, where it's like your kids are essentially being raised by a fucking streamer on Twitch to learn critical values,
Yeah.
but it's like
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like most people on Twitch have never done anything else. Like they're just in their own little bubble.
To be fair, though, also like besides the parenting, like kids look up to things, man. Like like
Mhm.
me and you. Maybe I don't know about you, but like I grew up looking up to Goku. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
just it is what it is. But these kids now have these streamers to look up to, so it's like
Yeah.
they're
It's
gonna fall into that fucking shit.
yeah, it's funny too because I had a conversation about like trans and like LGBTQ because I was talking with a buddy of mine and it's just like he had very different values and different thoughts and I basically was in the line of like it's not affecting me, it's not going to affect me. If it's going to get out of control as the way that he put it, it was just like then I can understand it, but it's like currently it's not. It's not doing anything to me. I don't know. Like his whole idea was just like really, really. It exceeded like to the point of just lunacy, where I was just like, I was just joking with him of like certain things. I was just like, bro, they're not gonna come to your door and like demand your penis in their hand to cut it off. Like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. I was about to say like that's crazy, but you literally prefaced like it's lunacy.
Yeah,
Um,
but
yeah,
he
and it's so weird that people have such issues with it because like
yeah,
they're like kids shouldn't become a different sex at their age or whatever and all this other stuff, and it's
yeah.
like yeah, like there's a part of that I'm kind of like, yeah, like you should like be developed, your brain should be developed to figure out like what you want to do with your life and who you are.
Yeah. But that's a conversation for parents and their kids. Depending on the parent on themselves, if like the parent is so strict on that certain aspect of like my son is not gonna be gay.
Well, it's the
Because
same
if you
thing as like you can't get married till you're 18, right?
Yeah.
So like I can understand like laws being put in place to like set kids up for like again like it's literally none of anyone's business.
Yeah.
So like realistically like it doesn't matter, but like there are laws put in place for certain things, and I do understand that like mindset.
Yeah.
But when people are like, "Ew, gross," it's like, dude, like nobody fucking is like pushing it on you, bitch. And then
Yeah.
they're like, "It's in my TV shows," and it's like,
It's
bro,
yeah, it's funny because like I said, back to that whole conversation I was having with my friend, it's just like, he got into just points of lunacy where it's just like that's not happening. Like that's something that's not happening. And then he brought up that aspect of like, if like a teacher who was transsexual was pushing their ideas to my kid, I'm like, but dude, you don't have a kid. We don't have kids. Like it's like you don't know how it's gonna go in the future. I'm like, yeah, but you do realize that like it's gonna be the rest of the world, not because he was talking about like moving out of New York, and I was like, yeah, but you're gonna have to deal with people outside of New York as well who have different values.
move to Texas or Florida.
That's
where you'll be welcome.
That's where he was thinking of moving to, and I was like, all right, you do you, bro. Like you do you. But like for me, it's just like I don't really care. I don't care. It's not affecting me. I told him, I'm like, if a person were to come to me and be like, can you refer to me as these specific pronouns? I have no fucking problem. That's why even before I stream, if somebody new comes in, I'm like, what are the pronouns that you prefer to be called?
You can even say no.
I could be like, no.
No, like 100 fucking percent though. Like people are like, oh, pronouns are not. It's like, dude, you don't have to say yes.
Yeah.
It's your fucking life.
But on
Do what
top
you want to do.
but on top of that, most people are referred to as a pronoun.
Right.
That's
He,
the
him, you,
yeah.
whatever.
That's the goofiest shit. It's like, I don't have
Right.
pronouns. I'm like, motherfucker, you have pronouns.
Right. You just don't like reference when you talk to people.
Yeah.
You want to be called that.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's like,
times
yes.
times change. People just like people fight change. It always happens. This will always happen.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you should just be able to like be like, it's cool, man. Like it's gonna happen. We just should like move on from this and start like. Honestly, man, I wish people were like talking about better fucking shit than that.
Yeah. But it's like I said, it's getting to the point of lunacy of just like people of like their hypotheticals, and it's just like that's not what they're arguing for. It's like they're arguing for rights in specific businesses or locations to give them the opportunity to be a person, which is a wild concept that for some reason people can't agree upon. It's like I don't know, man. It's just it gets to the point of just frustration, but it's like I don't know. It's stupid. Yeah,
They'll always be dumb.
because I remember I was having this conversation again, just bringing back to that where I'm like, yeah, no, if people tell me that like, can you call me this instead? I'll be like, yeah, sure, it's no problem. But I'm like, but he's like, oh, but what if they yell it at you? I'm like, no, there's specific ways to talking to a person. Like,
yeah, if somebody yelled at me and was like, "You better," I'd be like, "All right, man, you need to calm down."
yeah, or I just leave. That's it. It's just I walk out, bro. I don't care.
It's like, have you ever been in a confrontation before? You know, it's
Yeah.
like, if the answer is yes, you know how to handle that situation. Then
Yeah, usually just fucking leave. That's it.
human yells at you, you walk away from human.
Yeah. Unless they fucking have a knife to you, then it's just like that's a completely different case. But it's like you're talking to them face to face and they're being aggressive and they're being rude. And it's just like you do with any other rude person. You just like, I'm not talking to you anymore. This conversation fucking stopped itself once you started to get into my face and once you started to do shit that I don't like. That's obvious. But I'm like, if a person's like, hey, can you refer to me as they or him? I'm like, okay, yeah. That's no problem. Like that's just me. Like I would just be like, yeah, okay. But I hate it at the fact that there are some people out there that just like do obnoxious shit. I'm like yeah, sure, I'll call you he, and then like they're like she, oops, and like just being an asshole about it. I'm like that why would you go out of your way just to be an asshole to another person who asked you respectfully, can you refer to me as a specific way? I don't get it, man. But it's just like, yeah, this whole shit with Nick Merckx and like Tim the Tatman and Dr. Disrespectful to his wife is just like ridiculous.
Somebody said Dr. Disrespect has more of a fucking connection to those two guys than his fucking wife. I was like, yeah. It's fucking true, man.
Oh, fuck. That's hilarious. No,
Yeah.
I could give two shits less about Dr. Disrespect. To be honest, like I do not.
It's crazy because, like, honestly, like Nick Merckx I never really liked, but I've always been like, he's a good Call of Duty player. Like in my head, I'm like, if you want to learn something, you probably should watch that guy. And then like Tim the Tatman, I've always been like, oh, he's a good entertainer. Same thing with Dr. Disrespect. I've really always been like, this guy's a great entertainer. After this, been like, it doesn't matter. Like, I know I'm not going to change anything watching them or not watching them, but like, it just makes me not like these people, and it makes me not want to like put any time or effort into any of their content.
Yeah.
So.
I think for me, it's just like I have no connection to these people because I don't really watch big streamers, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
So it's not really my place, but still, it's just like for them to basically be up in arms and to come to the support of a person who has these ideas just makes me realize, oh, they have shitty values as well.
Yep.
So it's like, nah.
But the Ninja didn't join in.
Nah, Ninja will be like, I take it from the back. And it's like, what? You ever see those clips? Of Ninja saying like gay stuff?
No, it's hilarious.
All right, I gotta find that. It's really funny, but it's stupid. Like I said, it's fucking dumb. This whole situation.
I did see a video recently of Ninja complaining about Fortnite, and he looks jacked. He looks like he's been working the fuck out, dude.
So he could beat up those 12-year-olds. He's always arguing with and calling the N-word.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's funny.
Yo, PewDiePie really came back gracefully from the N-word, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, it's like
I saw your face.
No, because I was just like, it brought me back to like the old days of like when Wesley was like, "Oh, I'm watching this YouTube guy." I'm like, "What's his name?" And he's like, "Oh, his name is PewDiePie." I'm like, "Oh, all right." I'm like, "What does he do?" He's like, "Oh, he does like Let's Plays, and I really like watching his horror stuff." I'm like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah.
He put me onto like some videos, and I'm like, "Yeah, he's pretty funny." And then I just completely stopped watching PewDiePie, and I was watching like Two Best Friends Play most of the time.
Yeah.
And then like the news about PewDiePie like saying the N-word and causing like the whole ad apocalypse was just like,
Forgot that was the thing. Yeah.
That's why a lot of like the YouTube like strict shit is because of him.
Yeah.
Like
to be fair, like
as much as like people don't want to point fingers,
yeah.
it's mostly because of him. And
well, he said it before, like he knows it's him.
So that's also the thing. It's not just him. Of course, YouTube had a lot of issues of people uploading like really, really bad shit, like really horrible shit.
Yeah, like Nazi shit, racist shit, all that.
Yeah. But the whole reason why is to YouTube, doing the whole like you can't say any specific profanity in the first like 10 seconds of a video or a minute, I think at this point, is because of Let's Players and like PewDiePie being the biggest one, that and then other people saying profanities at the beginning and kind of just
see. I don't think that's such a bad idea though. Like I don't think it's such a horrible thing to like be like, hey, maybe don't curse as much. It is what it is.
That's tough for me because I curse in like every once in a while.
Yeah, I curse a lot too. But
yeah,
if I was an entertainer, I think like I would probably try my best to be as friendly as possible for everyone.
That's why my YouTube shorts that I put out whenever I fucking edit, I have to bleep myself. I have to.
Yeah. Right when I fucking edit, God fucking damn it, you motherfucking pieces of motherfucking shit. I fucking always fucking edit fucking everything.
I'm about to Dr. Disrespect my wife right now. You fucker. Anyways, continuing. Yeah, but anyways, back to Summer Game Fest, Call of Duty Season 4.
Yeah, Call of Duty. Buy Nick Merck's outfit.
Buy your Nick Merck's Tim the Tap Man outfit now.
Oh wait, you can't.
Fuck you, idiots.
Anyways, Faith Farm is a brand new
who gives a fuck
cozy
about
farming game?
Who gives a fuck about Call of Duty when we got Faith Farm? That looks cute.
You might not believe me on this. My tab. Did that work? It didn't work. I'm charging my mouse right now, so if you can keep saying the names, that'd be great.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Faith Farm coming out to PC and Switch. So neat.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean you're farming and becoming a fairy, so
well, the farming part.
Yeah. And then after that, Marvel Snap is having a conquest mode. I hear good things about Marvel Snap. I hear it's pretty fun, but I'm not into like mobile card battlers. Speaking of which, I forgot. If you have PS Extra or the premium one, what the fuck is the other one? A set? No, is it premium?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Either way, the new lineup of games came out. So, Inscription is one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm guessing you want me to play it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Diablo's out.
Okay.
I'll probably play it.
Okay. Just play a little bit of it. I would just say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty fun.
Okay.
I really like Inscription. I'm thinking about rebuying it, but this is
why don't do these things.
It's so good. I want to see what they do about the PC shit on PS5.
I'll do it. I'll play it and then tell you so you can live vicariously through me.
It's literally towards like the third part where they start doing like PC shit.
Yeah, it's not that hard for me to do.
Okay. All right. Since you like card battles.
Live stream it for you, buddy?
Yeah, that would help. All right. Moving
I'll
on.
live stream Diablo for you. Okay, move on.
Moving on. Speaking of mobile shit, King Arthur Legends Rise is happening, I guess.
Uh,
I don't know. Yeah. I think it's being done by a Korean company.
nice.
Okay. And
That
then
company.
yeah. And speaking of other shit, Wayfinder. Wayfinder got a little bit of a little.
I told you I've been playing that beta.
Yeah, I know. You hate it.
No, it's not that. It's not that bad. It's pretty good.
Oh, okay. Well, they said it wasn't too great.
It's not. I said it's pretty good.
Oh,
that means
okay.
it's not. It's not great. It's not wonderful, but it's fun.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think people should put like 109 hours into it. Definitely put that into Diablo.
All right, that makes more sense. And I talked about 4X games. Stellaris Nexus is a spin-off of another series, Stellaris. So get your space shit done, boy. I don't know. Let's see. Space Trash Scavenger, also done by Paradox, is coming to early access in October. And after that, more space shit. Star Trek Infinite. A brand new strategy game. It's coming to PC and Mac this autumn.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, you like Hades?
Yes.
All right, well, get ready for the newest Hades, Lisfanga.
Oh, I didn't.
What happened?
I didn't see this one. Is it good?
It's an interesting concept. Basically, you work with the versions that died.
Okay.
So basically, when you die, you start again like Hades. But when you get back into the world or like back into the level, like a ghost version of you will attack the enemy that you attacked previously.
Ooh.
And you can just basically move around and like it's kind of gets continuous. It's a very neat concept.
So just die immediately a lot, so you can have all yourselves help you.
Kind of, but I think yourselves has to be doing the action that you did previously.
Okay.
Because I don't think you can control them after you come back. I think they just do their own thing essentially.
I will tell them to high five me. So
Yeah.
I can get hyped.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay.
But I don't think this got an a date. Or I think it probably did, but I don't see it. But yeah, it looks neat. Something that looks kind of neat that I was kind of falling asleep during the Summer Games Fest was Immortals of Avium.
Yeah, I'm stoked for that.
I was falling asleep because I was like, I
mean, you've seen everything you need to see about that. That'll be fair.
Yeah, it looks okay. Looks okay. It just story
I don't
just
think
seems generic.
I don't think the story's gonna be anything great. I think the visuals pretty okay, but like bad guys. I think the bad guys are gonna be lackluster, and I think the story will be lackluster. I think the gameplay itself will be good.
It's a possible chance. Funny enough, the main character, I went over to my cousin's house and she was just watching like this Netflix series called Never Have I Ever. And this dude just shows out. I'm like, oh shit, that's the main character from Immortals of Avium. I was like, I didn't know he was in this show. And yeah, he was just there. And I was like, this is weird. Speaking of weird, Chapter 4 of Fortnite. You know what you can do now? You can have
roll out.
Yeah, you can make your Autobots roll out and hit the gritty.
Oh, you can hit the gritty?
Yeah, you can hit the
Let's
gritty
go.
as Optimus.
God, now I gotta go buy that dance.
Yeah. Do it with Optimus Prime.
Buddy.
And Summer Games Fest opening finishes off with gameplay for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Coming out 2024 on 2 discs.
Shut the fuck up. I saw that. Other people were posting it, and I was like, oh, I hate everyone.
I lost my mind. Fucking 2 discs for PS5, bro. That's wild.
Well, you already know why they're doing it. It's to cause hype.
Well, it's going to be massive. That's also the other thing.
Yeah, but most people are gonna buy it on what's it called?
On digital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm buying it in digital because that's
The
how I got the
majority
first one.
of Diablo games that were sold was digital.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Well, yeah, because PC. Most of the people
Mm,
that play Diablo play it on
nah,
PC.
nah. I get it. I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of these games though that are being bought now are probably just digital usually.
Hmm.
I could be
So
wrong. I
yeah,
could be wrong.
so Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, coming out, literally opens up with Tifa, Barrett, Aerith, and Red 13 fucking dead at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Spoilers, I guess. Uh, but
Really.
but the game continues on with, you know, you actually going into the world and seeing the world in
Now you gotta
3D.
play as Vincent.
I don't know if Vincent's gonna show up. I feel like they're probably gonna be saving Vincent for like the third game because he shows up towards the end of the
Really?
original game. I believe so.
It's been a really long time, bro.
Yeah, it's funny too
Should I
because
play 7 remake?
do you remember anything of the first game?
Original?
Yeah, the original.
Wait, what do you mean? The original, like original from back in the day?
Yes,
A little bit, yeah.
you remember a good amount of like plot point shit.
Like the overarching story, yeah.
Yeah, because we talked about this. Remake is a sequel.
You do the same exact stuff in the beginning, though.
Yes, but there are some changes, and if you play the story, there are literally towards the end is like where the shit starts to change.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I know Dino Dad hated this game, okay, because he was like, it's not like the original game, and it's so boring and it's so bloated, but it's like I liked it.
nah, I just meant like, should I play it like in general? Like,
Yeah, I think it's like combat wise, like actual gameplay wise, it's pretty fun.
okay.
Yeah, and like even
I haven't put a lot of time into Final Fantasies recently, so
yeah, I bought the fucking Pixel remastered on PS4, so there's a part of me that kind of wants to jump into all the Final Fantasy games. Uh, but we'll see, because obviously Final Fantasy 16 is coming out next week. Hold on, is it next week or? Yep, next week on Thursday. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake following up from, I'm sorry, Rebirth following up from Remake. Uh, Yuffie's part of the team. I still have to play that DLC, the intermission with Yuffie. I still have to play it because apparently a key thing happens in that game as well. So, well, in that story, I'll probably play that eventually on stream because for obvious reasons. And yeah, it just looks great. Looks fun. The open world looks cool. Chocobos, you can ride the chocobo finally. And yeah, the game still has its plot shit happening where Tifa's like, I don't remember Cloud showing up 5 years ago. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. And then Sephiroth at the end being like, I killed her, so who is she? And it's like, what? What are you talking about, Sephiroth?
Sephiroth.
Yeah, Sephiroth. Yeah, looking great. Also, Cowboy Tifa, or Cowgirl Tifa, I should say.
True.
It's true. Yeah, I would say if you have the ability to play Final Fantasy VII Original, it, I don't know, because I worked backwards because I played Remake thinking that it was an actual remake, and then people being like, "Nah, it's a sequel," and I finished the game. I'm like, I don't know anything, and then I played Final Fantasy VII afterwards, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then I played Crisis Core afterwards, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I watched Advent Children, and I was like, oh, this is stupid. And then yeah, and then it's like, oh yeah, basically Remake is a follow-up of Advent Children. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah. I'd say yeah. Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, I don't like it.
That's true. You could just hate it.
Like everything.
Yeah. I mean, that's also the thing is that like key moments happen in the game, obviously, like the big stuff that happens in the beginning big area of the first game, but like towards the midpoint and kind of towards the end is where like things start to really change.
I gotta take a break real quick.
Okay.
I'll be back.
We'll be back. All right, we're back.
Hi.
We're back. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Nah, I think we're done. We're done with the opening to Summer Games Fest. I brought Cheetos up here, but I'll eat them later. So now moving on to the other showcase. Of course there were other ones, but I didn't get into them as much.
I wouldn't worry. I would honestly just hit the keynotes. There's a bunch of them that are really not worth.
Yeah. So sorry, Devolver Direct. But the other big one was the Xbox showcase with a Starfield Direct. So some stuff was announced over at Xbox. So Fable being the biggest one. Basically reconfirming that Fable is not dead. So we'll see what happens with that. After that, a game called South of Midnight. Oh my god, I didn't even realize it's from the We Happy Few devs. Oh shit. Okay. It looked neat. The trailer looked really cool. It reminded me of the animation of like Paranorman, like that kind of like stop motion.
Okay.
After that, we got Star Wars Outlaws, the announcement for that, which was this was actually kind of known that Ubisoft was working on their own open world Star Wars game, but there was nothing shown afterwards. So now we actually got to see what it's supposed to be. And it's basically, it's an open world game. You're a smuggler. We'll get to that eventually with the Ubisoft forward. And after that, the devs for Spiritfarer, which I was surprised, have their own game that they're coming out with called 33 Immortals, which is a roguelike co-op game with 33 players. Why 33? No idea. Then after that, some stuff for Payday 3 got shown. It will be on the Game Pass. That game is coming out September 21st, so I guess that makes sense. I never played Payday. You ever play them?
Yeah.
You like them?
Nope.
All right. Moving on.
They're good. I'm bad at it. That's probably what it is.
Okay. Yeah, I never got into them. Speaking of stuff that I got into, so this got leaked really bad. This got leaked before the Xbox showcase. Persona 3 Reload, which is a remake of Persona 3 original, got leaked with a Persona 5 Tactics game called Persona 5 Tactica. It looks neat. Apparently more confirmations came out within the week of like what is happening in this remake of Persona 3. So one of the biggest things that people was really hoping about for this was that the female main character would be playable, because the female main character for Persona 3 was only for the PSP game, and that was it. Like no words afterwards. It's been confirmed that the female main character will not be coming back. That this game is supposed to be the third game, but the original third Persona game, but with some additions. The other big confirmation was this story that's supposed to be the follow-up of the base game called The Answer is also not part of this, which, to be fair, The Answer, from what I've been hearing, was not that great. The Answer was included with the special edition of Persona 3, which is called Persona 3 Fes or Festival. And yeah, I played a little bit of it. Essentially, it's a harder version of the base game, but with you playing as a different main character, and then the answer was supposed to answer what happened to the original main character, just all this other stuff. But at the end result, it was not particularly that good. And on top of that, Persona 3 is getting a recast. So new people will be playing the characters. compared to the original. You know, the main character was played by Yuri Lowenthal in the English dub, and now will be played by Alex Lay, who is the main character of Street Fighter. Well, not main character, but he's he is Luke from Street Fighter 6. So there's that. And then on top of that, they showed a little bit more of like what the game looks visually. It looks really impressive. It has some Persona 5 like themings of like how UI looks like, and well, specifically the pause menu. On top of that, a lot of character art has been remade. So it looks a little bit more crisper, a little bit more nicer. For some people, depending, you know, their old Persona 3 heads are like, oh, it doesn't look that good. Now I would say shut up. But yeah, overall it looks interesting. Kind of excited, but to be fair, my favorite Persona game is 4. So if they were ever to do a Persona 4, like redecked, because Persona 4 is like with cards, it's just like, sure, cool, I guess. Yeah, so Persona 3, but that's the biggest one, is that you can't play as the female main character. After that, Avowed by Obsidian is coming out. I forgot that this was the thing. But yeah, Obsidian is essentially doing their own Elder Scrolls game, and I think Xbox had like another like showcase, basically showing extended looks at other games, and essentially, yeah, it's an open world RPG in the kin of Skyrim, sort of, or any Elder Scrolls game. After that, Sea of Thieves is having a crossover event with Monkey Island. So if you like Monkey Island, you'll like this crossover event thingy. And then Flight Sim 2024 announced with a added mode or something where you can play as like cargo planes and stuff like that, and also like rescue helicopters. Interesting stuff, but looks neat. Then a cinematic was shown for Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga. And yeah, it just showed a little bit more of what the fuck is going on in Senua's head. So we get that, but essentially it was a confirmation to let people know that the game is done. They just got to work out some kinks, but the game is pretty much set to go. And then the other thing that fucking blew my mind, which I was confused about for a good while, Yakuza, or basically Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I was confused because I was like, what the fuck does infinite wealth mean? Apparently, this is Yakuza 8. So
I gotta take a phone call. I'm really sorry.
Oh, okay. Hello? Sorry. Good to go?
Do I have to go?
No, good to go.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Okay. Yakuza Infinite Wealth. Yeah, so very interested to see what where Yakuza 8 goes. Like I said, I was incredibly confused because I was like, oh, is it a spin-off game that essentially is the tycoon shit from Yakuza 7? Where you're like a big businessman, but no, that's just the name of the 8th game. So basically the game opens up with Ichiban in Hawaii, possibly? Naked? So first time of Yakuza heading to America? Well, islands that are part of America, technically, in a technical sense. But still, anyways, Hawaii, possibly? So we'll see where this goes. But it's supposed to come out early 2024, as far as I remember. Let me make sure. Yeah, 2024. After that, you like Fallout 76?
No.
Okay, well, Atlantic City is coming to Fallout 76. So
wow, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So if you like Fallout 76, another expansion is happening. A game called Path of the Goddess from Capcom is was shown, and it looks pretty neat. The camera angle and how it plays kind of reminds me of Pikmin and also Wonderful 101. But like the atmosphere and like the monster designs and just like the aesthetics look really, really cool. So Path of the Goddess, coming soon, hopefully. After that, you fucking love cars. You love cars. Do you love the cars? Yeah, you love cars. I know
Oh
you
my
do.
god, I thought you were saying cards or like Kaza. I was
Cards.
like, what the
Nah,
fuck?
cars. Forza Motorsport is coming this October.
I did see this.
Yeah. So if you like cars, excuse me, get hyped for Forza Motorsport. You know, everything that I've seen for Forza Motorsport looks pretty neat. You know, I'm not really into the car simulators, but looked cool. I think it looks cool. And then yeah, Persona 5 Tactica coming to everything November 17th. It's a tactics game with Persona 5 characters in it. It's a spin-off. Who knows when Persona 5 will die and then eventually Persona 6 can live, but we'll have to wait until then. But it looks neat. The tactics stuff looks really fun. After that, Elder Scrolls Online Necrom. That expansion is coming out June 20th, so get on your Elder Scrolls Necrom Online shit if you want. If you want. Overwatch 2 Invasion is its PvE. It's coming out in August, which apparently there's a thing that I saw that they're charging like 15 or like they're charging money for some kind of like single player stuff. That was something that I was seeing online that this is happening
For what again?
for Overwatch 2.
Yeah. Yep. I believe $15 for the first pack.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
They canned their own single player PV.
Happens to be that somebody owns their company that wants to keep making them buy their. I mean, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I never liked Overwatch, so
I haven't played it in a while, so I have no deep feelings for it, but still I feel kind of bad for the people who got excited for the storyline shit only to have it be sold as content. Yeah, that's just wild. Then we get a little bit more stuff for Starfield, before it's direct. Then this little cute game called Jusant, which apparently is done by the Life is Strange developers. Is it Don't Nod? Wait, it's Don't Nod again? Oh shit, okay. Besides Dead Wives that they're dealing with, Jusant is this cute little game. You know, you're climbing with your little cute little blue buddy. And that's basically it. So another game that's been shown, or just a trailer for it, Still Wakes the Deep, from the Chinese Room, which I know the Chinese Room are ex-BioShock devs. So they're working on a new game, which I'm going to assume has some horror element to it. Looked pretty interesting. After that, this game called Dungeons of Hinterberg was shown, where it's essentially like an open world thing where you can go hunt some dungeons and stuff like that. Look interesting. Had like a cell shaded look. After that, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, a trailer that showed a little bit more of what was going on in Cyberpunk. It kind of reminded me of Escape from New York, the premise, but could be a little different. But what I do know for a fact, apparently this expansion is a complete overhaul of the game. From what I've been seeing, people have been writing in saying that they basically overhauled the base game and it's coming out in this expansion, which kind of leaves a sour taste in my tongue because of the fact that I beat this game, after it got like its update and the big update where it was like, oh yeah, we fixed all these problems, and like it was so buggy as fuck. But regardless, like they're just completely overhauling the game, where it's like now there's kill animations and armor sets aren't like tied to your clothes, like they're going to be tied to your skill tree and stuff like that. Like very interesting choices. Or also on top of like melee combat has been changed for a little bit, where you get kill animations and guns feel better, and it's just like all these big things where it's like you couldn't have done this before, but now you're hiding it behind a paywall of $30. Like that's a shame.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm probably gonna buy it. You know, I'm part of the problem, but still, I'm very curious as to like Keanu Reeves and Idris Elba being in it. So we'll see. After that, City Skylines 2. If you like micromanaging a city, get excited for the sequel. Which I was kind of interested in playing the first game, but there's a lot of add-on shit where it's like, I think the total was like almost $200. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. So I kind of backed away from it. Yeah. But the thing, talking about the Atlas leak of Persona 3 and Persona 5 Tactics, this didn't get leaked, luckily. Metaphor ReFantazio is an RPG developed by Atlas that looks like Persona, because obviously it's the art director of Persona. But this was also a long-running project that Atlas was planning on doing called Project ReFantasy. And this was rumored for years that it was going to be like the next big thing. And it got shown. And it looks really cool. I thought it was like SMT 6 for a little bit, but no, just a completely new IP that looks kind of like Persona. So very excited to see what goes on with that. After that, Towerborn, from the creators of Banner Saga, is in the works. And then a game that looked eerily similar to BioShock Infinite, Clockwork Revolution, where your choices matter in what you do, and you can rewind time, possibly, maybe. And then after that, Phil Spencer came out and was like, you know what people that bought the Xbox Series S want? They want more space. So you know what we're going to give them? The opportunity to buy a 1 terabyte black Xbox Series S. So the 1 terabyte black Xbox Series S got announced.
Are you excited for
Yay. I'm so excited. You don't even know it, bro. Cool. And I believe after that was the direct for fucking Starfield, which showed gameplay and like in-depth behind the scenes stuff of like what their ideas were for this game and the concepts. To be fair, I am kind of a little excited for this game. It does look really neat. And I'm saying this because I pre-ordered the collector's edition for this. Okay. Because it comes with a cool ass watch that I kind of want. So there's that, and there's a part of me that wants to buy the controller because the controller is out. Because it has like these clear triggers in the back, and you can kind of see like the little mechanics and stuff like that working in the background. But anyways, Starfield. I'm fucking. I'm Larry Daviding right now. So the behind the scenes stuff was really cool to watch because of the process that they're doing, and I was curious as to like what their theme of Starfield was, because obviously it's space exploration, but it's like they basically came up with NASA punk is what they were saying is the style of this game, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, you know, because it looks all retro, but it still looks like part of like the NASA space works. The only thing I'm a little confused about is there's like barely any like intelligent alien life forms. They're like most of the alien life forms we saw were like monsters, but then like the other alien life forms that seemed to be intelligent look like the old Star Trek aliens, you know, where it's like a dude with paint on his face or like a little prosthetic on his head, something like that. So I'm very curious to see what they do, when it comes to interacting with alien life forms. Yeah, and then the game is just big and expansive. Obviously, I'm going to get this on PC because I don't have an Xbox. But a report came out afterwards saying that the game is going to stick at 30 frames per second for both Series S and X on the Xbox. Bethesda's reasoning is because they want to keep the fidelity of the game. So people were upset about that. I would be kind of upset about that, but I kind of have to understand the whole idea behind that because of the fact of how big this game is trying to go for, because it's doing different planets and it's doing different galaxies and stuff like that. And that you're basically exploring an entire planet in a sense.
Right.
So I can understand that reasoning, but I'm getting it on PC, and hopefully it's not a buggy piece of shit, because most Bethesda games are.
I was just about to see. It's
Yeah.
going to be bad.
Yeah. So we'll see when we get there. And yeah, that wraps up the Xbox and Starfield Direct showcase thingy.
The last one, baby.
No, we got two more.
What's the other one?
Ubisoft and Capcom.
Ubisoft. I thought.
Well, basically
What
these.
was the two we went over? Oh right, Game Fest. Because Ubisoft stuff was in there. I was like, I thought that was Ubisoft.
May I continue?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you asked.
Yeah. So yeah, but basically the Ubisoft Forward was just like a recap / like extended look into like some of the stuff that they announced. So the thing that I completely forgot about that they were doing was an Avatar game. Yeah. Can I be honest here? Can I be honest?
Sure, bud. No, don't say it.
Mm.
You're gonna say it looks good, and I'm gonna fucking hate you. Ubisoft is trash. I don't care what you say. Keep going.
Prince of Persia. Okay, the reason why I kind of am looking forward to this Avatar game, I'm not a fan of the Avatar movies. Like, I like them, but I'm not like, oh my god, Natiri, oh my god, Jake Sully. I need them in my life. I want to be giant cat person. I'm not a furry. Says man who's about to say furry shit. But the game, I think the reason why I really like the look of this game is because it reminds me of Far Cry Primal. Because there's a lot of aspects that really look like Far Cry Primal, but set in the Avatar universe. So I think that's why I'm a little excited for this. Jake Sully. But the story is very goofy. It's very Avatar, where it's like, apparently you're like these weird, not sleeper agents, but like you're essentially a faction of Na'vi that like were raised by the humans to become soldiers, but then you got abandoned, and then the humans come back and they're like, we want your land, and you're like, nah bro, you can't take our land. Essentially it's just Avatar all over again. But the gameplay looks interesting, looks very first person, looks very Far Cry, but obviously set in the Avatar universe. So we'll see where that goes. After that, they showed a little bit more gameplay for Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, looking pretty neat. Like I said before, I got fucking confused because they showed a trailer for The Division Resurgence. I completely forgot they announced this like a while ago, and it was a mobile game. Because I was like, is this like an update to be back in New York? And I'm like, oh, it's a fucking mobile game. I'm like, okay, I don't care.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then after that, they announced, I guess they kind of announced, and they kind of showed a little bit of Netflix's new series from the producer of the Castlevania series, Adi Shankar, that they're doing a Blood Dragon anime. It's called Captain Laserhawk: A Blood Dragon Remix, and it looks like it's having fun. And then on top of that, like they're having like some little nods to like Ubisoft games. So there's that. Next was shown basically Assassin's Creed Nexus VR. which I think they showed just a CG trailer of like gameplay. But it's basically you're playing as Connor, Cassandra, or Ezio, and yeah, you're in VR. So that was basically shown. And then they went on to talk about a little bit of Assassin's Creed codenamed Jade, which is having a beta, and that kind of makes me a little sad because it's a mobile game as well. An Assassin's Creed mobile game based in China, which is kind of a shame. Speaking of a shame, Skull and Bones made a fucking announcement saying that we're having a beta in August. It's gonna be closed. So you can sign up for a closed beta. Depending if they don't get fucking destroyed by the Singaporean government. And then yeah. And then afterwards, to show they care about Assassin's Creed, a little bit more gameplay of Mirage was shown, and then like an extended look towards the end of the Ubisoft Forward. But no, actually, it was just like a little bit more of like a commentary thing. But anyways, Assassin's Creed Mirage gets shown. It shows you what you can do mechanically and gameplay wise, and like kind of like going back to its roots, somewhat. Kind of like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Revelations, kind of, sort of. Never played those. Anyways, but yeah, it looks neat. If you liked the Assassin's Creed, the older ones, then you probably like this one, and especially the fact that like it's shorter. It's not like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Which reminds me, I should probably try out Valhalla because I'm very curious as to see like the audio shit that you were talking about before. Because I remember you said like the audio mixing is bad.
I have a feeling it's just me. Like I think it's just my ears.
It's not you. Apparently, like there's a bunch of reviews that I saw like on the Steam version, and it's like people are like, "What the fuck is up with the audio mixing?"
Okay.
So
it was on the PlayStation 5 too, the way it sounded. So
yeah, I forget, but like this game was like made. I wouldn't say made during COVID, but like it was around the time.
No, it was. It was like around that time.
Okay, so yeah,
they were doing work from home stuff, and everyone was like, "This game's great." I
guess their audio mixer just didn't work.
What I told you when I heard it, and I told you like what I heard and shit, I was like, it sounds like someone was recording in their fucking closet.
Possibly.
No, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name, man? The dude that did he died, Destiny guy.
Oh, Lance Reddick?
Lance Reddick. Yeah. Lance Reddick was
recording in his closet.
He was recording in his closet. Because he had to do work from home stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And he never sounded like a piece of shit.
Yeah, it just depends on your audio engineer or like the space of your closet. Because if he had a giant,
but I just can't believe somebody like
Ubisoft
didn't catch it. Ubisoft is shit, dude. I'm so tired of their games. Their games are so non-innovative, copy and paste, cookie cutter bullshit. It's so boring. I will not buy their games anymore. It's just so boring.
I'm with you there after I play Avatar.
Jesus Christ.
Assassin's Creed Mirage. This is the thing. I even talked about this when I was watching this. I was like, Ubisoft has those games where I feel like they're weird comfort food for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
It feels weird to talk about it because it's like their games are obviously, like you said, they're not innovative. They were back in like 2006 or 2008. Like they were innovative at the time. But like you said, they became so cookie cutter and so copy and paste that it's like that they can't escape the 2008s. They have been stuck there forever. But for some reason, I like them. I don't know why I like them. I think the open world games that they have, like the Assassin's Creed, because I really, really got into Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I really got into it. And I enjoyed it. I don't know why. I fucking enjoyed it. I tried playing Watch Dogs, but I didn't get too into it. But, if I eventually finish it, I'll let you know. Because I hear Watch Dogs 2 is much better than the first game. And then you have Watch Dogs Legion, which apparently was not good because wasn't that like AI generated shit? I'm trying to remember. I think like with the dialogue, it was like AI generated.
I think they said that their next thing is going to be AI generated, is what it was.
Okay. No. Like there was a thing that happened where like they got people to voice over lines, but essentially their dialogue was just like AI generated in like a sentence. It's like really weird. And Ubisoft admitted to this. Anyways,
I
but
don't know.
yeah, but for me, a lot of these Ubisoft games, that's why that's why I'm like thinking like Avatar like looks okay. Like it looks pretty interesting. It looks because I like fucking Far Cry Primal and I kind of want to play something like Far Cry Primal again or a good Far Cry game. I haven't booted up Far Cry 6. I know people either love it or hate it, but it's like I'm probably gonna like it. That's the thing. Yeah.
I think Far Cry is a little different just because it has like that story to it.
Mhm.
I guess Assassin's Creed's kind of like that too. If you like the stories for it, that's fine. But like,
Yeah.
like there's just really no like differentiating between the fucking franchises. They're all very
Like Origins,
games of each franchise.
Odyssey, and Valhalla obviously are the three of like the RPG shit, but you know, a lot of people didn't really like that aspect of Assassin's Creed and what it became. And because of like fucking Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think I put like more than 100 hours into that game because I was like getting all the trophies and shit. It's like it's too much. And then Odyssey, and then hearing not Odyssey, hearing about Valhalla being too much again, it's just like, yeah, they kind of have to like tone it down, and that's what they're doing with Mirage, is that like they're toning it down. They're making it more like linear and not as RPG heavy as the other games. And it's kind of going back to its root. But that's what I'm saying, is that like it's kind of the irony of that, of like them not being able to escape from their 2000 like era, their mid 2000 era. So yeah, and after that, they showed actual gameplay for Star Wars Outlaws. And this is where I'm going to hate myself. I'm probably going to play this. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. They do not do anything where this game has to connect to any of the mainline Star Wars shit. I want it to be just a side story or somebody else's side story where this can take part any place of the galaxy with some elements of the baseline Star Wars shit. Because that's what they showed. They showed literally towards the end of the thing where your character is trying to finish her deal, and then you have like an Imperial officer there, and she's like, you gotta give me a bribe, because if you don't, then you're gonna be an enemy to the fucking to the evil. And then she's like, fuck you, I'm taking my money, bitch. And she's like, oh, you're an enemy now. And then like you get like a ranking of like Imperials on you, like essentially like a GTA's star system for the police. So it's like, oh, that's pretty neat. And it's like some decisions that you make, you know, it's by the line, you know, decisions that you make out, the outcome can like affect your gameplay, that kind of shit. And it's just like, yeah, it looks all right. The only thing that I'm hoping about is when they showed the gameplay, it had borders, like almost like a film, like a movie, like, and I don't like that. I don't like that aspect. I would rather just have it open. The reason why I don't like it, because it reminds me of the game The Evil Within, the first one, because it had the black bars on the top and the bottom, and I hated how that looked. I did not like how that game looked, and eventually they updated it where the game took that out. So that's the only thing I'm hoping for. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I'm just hoping, you know, the fucking, because the thing that they were talking about is like, oh, there's a big thing that's gonna happen at the midpoint of the game or something like that, where it's like there's gonna be a big overarching story. I'm just hoping that, like, you know, this fucking lady is not like, we gotta go rob Darth Vader, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that. We have to hijack the Death Star. I'm like, no, just let it be its own thing.
Get ready to hijack the Death Star, bro.
Time to high five the Mandalorian. I'm like, no, stop it. I just have to say, stop doing that. We gotta go say hi to Luke Skywalker. I fucking hate it. Anyways, but it looks okay. I think it looks fine. A lot of the Ubisoft stuff that they showed, I think looks fine, but I feel like I'm a hypocrite because obviously I have a comfort feeling with Ubisoft games for some fucking reason.
Nah, hippos can't hit crit shots.
That's true. They can't. But speaking of crit shots, Capcom was next. So, let's talk about Capcom.
Dogma 4.
Let's talk about Capcom. So you like Capcom?
Yeah.
Okay. Forget what they show first, because this is not in order. Thing that I have here. Oh, I think it's just anything new that's here. But yeah, it was a lot of like a lot of stuff. Excuse me. I was just to like reconfirm, oh, this is what we have out, like Resident Evil 4. They're also planning that VR mode for RE4 remake. They wanted to let you know that that Street Fighter 6 is the biggest fighting game of all time. It's I have to admit it's a fun game. But the actual stuff that they announced was Mega Man X Dive Offline, which is a mobile game and a PC game, but it's just the offline mode, and you don't have to worry about the mobile aspect, I think. But it's essentially like Mega Man cross Mega Man, where it's like all Mega Man characters, but you get more shit. Yeah.
This looks pretty cool, actually.
Okay. I mean, if you like Mega Man, go.
I do.
Have fun.
I do like Mega Man.
All right, have fun.
That's right. I will have fun.
Okay.
It is okay.
Mega Man.
Yeah.
After that, they just showed a trailer again of Path of the Goddess. Apparently, the game is called Kinitsugami Path of the Goddess. That's the full title. But yeah, it's just basically the same thing that they showed at the Xbox showcase. And then they wanted to remind you that Ghost Trick exists. If you ever played Ghost Trick on the DS, the remaster is coming out and the demo is out. So if you want to play the demo, go ahead. And I believe your save data gets transferred over. The other thing that a lot of people were wigging out, apparently Ghost Trick Remastered used the RE engine, which was weird, but still, that's cool. And then Exoprimal gets another trailer. It shows a roadmap, a battle pass, all the online shit that you love, and the story looks fucking dumb. But here we are. And then a beta is supposed to come out on the 16th of this month, June, to the 18th. So you can play the game again if you want to. After that, you like Ace Attorney? You like that Phoenix Wright? I know you do. Do you?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't like most games, bro. I'm not a video gamer. Did you know that?
Yeah, I guess you're not. You hate video games. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
But the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy is coming in 2024, which basically is the 4th, 5th, and 6th game of Ace Attorney. So I like the first one. I haven't played the sequels. I'm glad that the 4th, 5th, and 6th are coming to other consoles, not being stuck on the 3DS. The only one that no word about, but possibly might come, is the Miles Edgeworth one, which is one of the characters from Phoenix Wright. He had his own spin-off game. But this is neat, like I said, that they're coming to everything else, because fucking sucks if anything gets stuck on the 3DS. Fucking Shin Megami Tensei 4, but you know, that's the life we live. And then we got an update for Pragmata. I remember this trailer. I forgot about this game. Essentially, this was a dude in a spacesuit with like this little girl android character and her weird skeletal cat. But nothing was heard about it afterwards. And then Capcom has basically given us an update saying that it's being delayed to who knows when. Hopefully not too long. But it's basically an apology saying that, yeah, sorry that we told you guys nothing. But they did show a little bit of gameplay of what's going on. It essentially looks like a character action game. So we'll see if anything else gets shown about that. And then they kind of gave us a little bit of information on Dragon's Dogma 2 from Hideaki Itsuno, the creator and director, basically being like, yeah, this game is going to be Dragon's Dogma but better. And it's going to be 4 times the size than Dragon's Dogma 1. So that's neat. That's cool. Dragon's Dogma. Get in your dragon for the Dogma 2. Dragon 2 Dogma? Yeah. But yeah, it looks like they're basically taking obviously the mechanics and the ideas of Dragon's Dogma 1 and expanding upon it. Because I mentioned this before, Dragon's Dogma 1 was a victim to budget cuts as well, to like most Capcom games. In which a lot of the ideas that were thought of, or a lot of the stuff that was shown in that first game, wasn't really expanded upon. So with the second game, I believe a lot of people are saying that's kind of like a soft reboot to that world. So neat to see that like Itsuno is able to actually make the game that he really, really wanted to make. Because of Devil May Cry. Because if Devil May Cry didn't sell that well, I don't think he would have another project. Yeah. And with that, what?
Huh?
What?
Who are you?
Okay. Dragon's Dogma. All right. With that said, that's it for Summer Game Fest. I believe there's an Annapurna developer showcase that's happening on the 29th, but that's really far away.
You said Summer Game Fest. Do you mean Capcom?
Yeah, that's it for Capcom, and that's it for Summer Game Fest, like, announcements thus far.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. That's why
what you're saying.
That's why I interrupted myself, because like Annapurna technically has a thing like later on.
I gotcha.
So yeah, that's it for video game news. We did it. Are you excited for anything that was announced? Avatar?
Am I excited for anything else?
Yeah, you're excited for like anything that was announced at this?
Yeah, Ace Attorney Trilogy. Psych! That game looks like poop. Am I excited for anything they announced? No, I'm waiting for Diablo Season 1 to drop. They're dropping seasons. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's going to be quarterly.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Can I punch Lilith?
You can buy a battle pass.
To punch Lilith?
I mean, you want me to give you the story away, or what's going on here?
Okay, fair enough. Don't give the story. Don't give it away. Okay, for me, I guess I'm excited for that Persona remake, Persona 3. Well, I'm keeping my expectations somewhat to like the middle because of the fact of like the stuff that's not included for Persona 3 Reload. The tactics game for Persona 5 looks cool. The new game Metaphor Refantasio looks really neat.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't get to say it, but Whoopi Goldberg was upset about Diablo 4.
Oh yeah, because it's not on Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I found hilarious that it just happened to be Whoopi Goldberg complaining.
Yeah, out of everybody in the world.
Bro. I honestly like I used to watch a lot of her movies when I was younger, and I fucking love her. So like seeing that she loves something that I loved, I was just like, oh man, that makes me really happy.
Yeah, like Whoopi Goldberg, my hero, confirmed.
Dude, I don't know if you've seen her movies when like her old movies, like Sister Act, and I think it's called Burglar. But those movies, like, she's so good, man. I love her so much.
Okay, I now know that you are a big fan of Whoopi.
Yeah, dude, I fucking love Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I'm excited for. I guess the Avatar game, Prince of Persia.
I'll play Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna play it. Assassin's Creed Mirage, I would say I'm not super excited for it, but yeah, I'll play it eventually when it gets like cheaper. Because that's what I did with fucking Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I waited till like it was like $20, and then I got the expansion for like 15. The Star Wars Outlaw game looks pretty neat. I don't know if that's a day one buy, but if they get rid of those fucking black borders, I probably will.
Oh, Remnant 2. I'm excited for.
Oh yeah, Remnant from the Ashes 2 looks pretty much better than the first.
I'll play Honky Star Rail
on the PS5.
Yep.
Rail your star till you honk.
I'll play Throne and Liberty probably, depending on how it looks when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I'm probably excited to watch you play Alan Wake 2. I don't want to play it, but I'll watch you do
Alan Wake 2, baby. Yeah, so that was the other thing I'm excited for.
Toxic Commando looks cool. Hopefully it's good.
You gonna play with your friends? All your friends?
Yo, don't be a dickhead. Sorry, bro.
It's alright.
Ghostwife looks dumb as shit. I will not play that game.
Ghostwife.
I hope you fucking stream like a dragon because that looks cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna play the man who erased his name, and then obviously fucking Yakuza 8 because of course I have to.
I'm very unexcited for Nick Merckx season 4. It's not gonna be cool.
Yeah, I can't wait till Tim the Tatman and Dr. Disrespectful for his wife is there. Can't wait. Oh wait.
It sucks, man. Really don't feel
excited to any
stoked for anything. Final Fantasy 7, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's my biggest one. Like that's my ender of just like, yeah, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, obviously big for me because I really liked Remake, and I'm planning on going through the main story again. But I want to play that Yuffie DLC because I haven't, and it's very critical to the story.
I think I'll be looking forward to when Sony announces some more stuff. Well, I don't think I really cared too much about anything that was said this past few days, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think what other big thing is happening.
Nothing really.
Is Gamescom happening? Hold on. Let me look this up.
I know I'm probably holding my breath with this shit, but I kind of want like Nathan Drake to show up for something, or Sly Cooper.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
I mean, I wouldn't say never, but I would definitely say a very long shot.
Okay, Gamescom is happening in August, so that's the other big thing, big convention that could possibly have more announcements. When was Tokyo Game Show? Tokyo Game Show is in September, and then obviously at the end of that is the Game Awards. We'll see when The Last of Us Part 2 gets Game of the Year for 2023. Oh. I'm trying to think what else. Anything else I'm excited for, or somewhat like probably gonna play? Oh, Path of the Goddess, definitely gonna check that out. Phoenix Wright games, yeah. Once I beat the other Phoenix Wright games, Dragon's Dogma, definitely. Ghost Trick, I should really check out. I really should check out that demo for Ghost Trick. It's on everything, by the way, if you're interested.
Ghost what?
Ghost Trick. If you're interested in that. Ubisoft, yeah, we talked about Xbox. Starfield. Yeah. Starfield I'm interested in, obviously, because I pre-ordered that shit. If they show anything more about Fable, maybe I might be a little bit more interested in, but I still got to play through the original Fable games. That's been something I've been putting on my back catalog for like a while. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh yeah, maybe Mortal Kombat 1 story mode, but that's it. Really anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for Summer Game Fest announcements and shit thus far.
Yay.
All right, we're done with the podcast. We'll see you in 8 weeks.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.